2.4 million operators and a network that covers the entire nation, the boda subsector has revolutionized transport experience in Kenya. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The Boda Story, a 4-part special series beginning this Thursday on KBC Channel 1 News. Don't miss the Boda Story, a real story of our times.
Are you an aspiring candidate in the upcoming general elections? Do you want your agenda and manifesto to reach your voters effectively? At KBC, we have the most comprehensive and credible online platform that has profiles of all prospective candidates. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants and let Kenyans know more about you, your past achievements, your manifesto, and your development agenda once you get elected to office. What's more, the website is easy to navigate. We will create your profile, post pictures and short videos with your campaign messages at affordable hosting fees. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants today and establish your brand authority as we lead towards the forthcoming general elections.
Maybe we should have a dinner party and invite some of your single friends.
You need to keep your single friends at bay.
She's good people.
Hey, honey. Welcome home.
There is no dinner.
I've decided to cook for one.
Love is for those who fight for it.
But even when I got married, we'd still be together? Asali, move on.
Have you lost your mind?
I love you.
Oh, please.
Get out! Get out!
I hate you. She's gonna leave you.
She deserves better.
So do I.
Atito, kwani unatumia mapua kusikia? Si nimetoka kukwambia hiyo saa hii tu. Are you sure you did not go extremely out of your way? I mean, you don't even look familiar. This is not your style.
Julia, why do you look like you have swallowed a tablespoon of yeast?
And why do you look like them can I keep my yeast?
Are you hungry? You look angry.
You see that Mr. Free? He has been avenging me the whole week and my stepfather is on my case.
What is your biggest problem?
My biggest problem is that Daira Bank. She has broken my family into tiny pieces.
That is your family's problem. I am asking about how you, Fala. What is your biggest problem?
And Auntie Bella, where did you get all this money from?
Mr. Free, I have my own ways.
Hello there and welcome to the program. There we go. Hi. How are you? It is the 17th day of March 2022. This is Good Morning Kenya. I am Jane Wamboy. Thank you for joining us this fine Thursday morning right here on Good Morning Kenya. It is Entertainment Thursday and to entertain we shall. Of course, this is courtesy of the entire team. Tukianza na Victor Mandim Watagwan.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. One sad thing that we have to report is that the family of the renowned businessman based in Eldoret, that is Mzee Kibor, is dead, and the family has confirmed that Mzee Kibor passed on while receiving treatment at a hospital in Eldoret. And of course, we'll always remember Mzee Kibor as quote-unquote the men's conference chairperson. So we were still waiting for more information on that, and of course, we'll give you more during the course of the day as our reporters will compiling that story for you conclusively. Meanwhile, welcome to the program. I'm Victor Ulo. Doreen.
Good morning, our viewers. Kama kawaida, we always appreciate you. And just as my colleagues have mentioned, we have lots in store for you this morning. And clearly being a Thursday, also a lot of entertainment, as well as how our roads will be looking like. So stay put up until the end of the show. Many thanks for making time. I'm Doreen Arange Okelo. Regina.
Good morning. You're just in time for comprehensive news coverage covering on matters business, sports, as well as what has been happening in the political arena. We have a keen focus on the scrapping, or rather the lifting of scrap metal importation and business dealing, and now the entry of licensing of scrap metal. What does this mean for this niche subsector? That will be coming up in not too long. I'm Regina Manyara. Good morning. This is Good Morning Kenya, and you are watching In the Headlines with me, Regina Manyara. Now we start off where the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says it is probing Gatundu South Member of Parliament Moses Kuria over recent remarks claiming the 2017 elections were rigged in favor of the Jubilee Party. IBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati said Kuria will be required to shed more light on the matter once investigations are complete.
During the United Democratic Alliance National Delegates Conference on Tuesday, Gatundu Member of Parliament Moses Kuria claimed that together with other leaders who are now allied to the Deputy President William Ruto, they rigged the last general election. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says the legislature is under investigations.
The commission will proceed and take action on Moses Kuria in terms of the law. Our team will investigate, and if the wording is said is confirmed and found to be offensive, then we shall proceed to summon him.
IBC Chair Wafula Chebukati noting the commission is committed to deliver free and fair elections.
Items in time, you are not running last minute. Then obviously you are ready, and that's what we are saying, that now we are more ready than the previous election, because we shall have everything in place.
I, Marjan Hussein Marjan.
Chebukati made the remarks at the Supreme Court during the swearing-in of Marjan Hussein Marjan as the new IEBC Chief Executive Officer. Chief Justice Martha Koome challenged the commission to ensure the integrity of the August 9th general elections.
You must strive in your work to live up to and meet the standards of free, fair, and credible, verifiable elections as set out in the Constitution and electoral laws, to imbue our electoral processes with the requisite public trust and confidence that ensure a democratic and peaceful electoral process.
Going to be keeping tabs on that, especially now that in the IBC have confirmed that investigations are underway following those remarks made by Moses Kuria. Now on to matters education. Now a day after a candidate died at the Malava Seb County Hospital as he was preparing to write an exam, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has assured stakeholders that candidates writing the ongoing Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exams from hospital beds are in stable condition.
On Wednesday morning, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha visited a student from State House Girls High School who is sitting the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education from her hospital bed at Nairobi Women's Hospital. The candidate is among a handful countrywide who are sitting the exam under the watchful eyes of medics.
Is it risky for us to allow the child to try or to wait for another year? And in my considered opinion, it was possible for the child to continue from there. Perhaps it's not the best scenario, but then when you say, if you know what we go through to create one paper, the moment you say there's going to be a supplementary exam, it is going to be very costly. It will be very costly, and many other people will fake their. When they see the exam is difficult, they will collapse.
Speaking at Ruta Secondary School in Nairobi while inspecting progress of the national examination, the Education Cabinet Secretary also noted a drop in cases of candidates writing the exams after delivery.
They have improved. We don't have a super crisis of girls who are giving birth and having the kids in the hospital.
The 2021 KCSE theory examinations began on Monday this week. So far, 2 students have been reported dead as they awaited to write the exam. Meanwhile, Professor Magoha confirmed 2 teachers were arrested on Wednesday over exam malpractice.
Because right now in Tharaka Nithi, we just found 2 teachers discussing the chemistry paper. And all they could say, oh, me, I got E in chemistry, so there's nothing I can. But what are you doing with my paper? Outside, and there are 2 of you.
On Thursday, candidates will write Kiswahili Insha and Kiswahili Lugha examinations.
Now, still keeping up with matters politics, ODM leader Raila Odinga has accused Deputy President William Ruto of sabotaging the government from within. Raila was speaking at the historic Chatham House in London, hit out at Ruto, claiming he was undermining President Kenyatta by politicizing the war on corruption.
Is being undermined from within his own government by his deputy, who is basically an opposition inside the government. And therefore, any fight against corruption is politicized. If anybody is investigated by investigative authorities and is arrested or charged, there's always this cry that, oh, so-and-so is being targeted because he's my supporter. So-and-so is being targeted because he's my supporter. So they cannot really fight against this corruption internally because of internal contradictions within the Jubilee government itself. We'll have to seek the indulgence and cooperation of our development partners to renegotiate our debt.
The Kwanzaa campaign in Nairobi took center stage with Deputy President William Ruto claiming that his political competitors in the oppositions were out of touch with realities on ground. Ben Chumba reports.
Deputy President William Ruto took the Kenya Kwanzaa campaign tour to Nairobi's Starehe constituency.
Kanairo ni mtaa wa mahasla.
Here, the Kenya Kwanzaa Brigade promised to liberate the country from what they termed as the interest of a few individuals that had held the country hostage.
We must elect a leader who understands the challenges of the people of Kenya, not the children of privilege.
Sisi tunasema hatuwezi kukaa kwa nchi ambayo madeni yanatukumba.
During stopover rallies in Majengo, Ngara, Kirinyaga Road and Gikomba, the Deputy President popularized the hustler narrative, accusing his rivals of not grasping the reality on the ground.
Let us not make a mistake. Tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 tukachagua mtu ambaye haelewi njaa ni nini.
Meanwhile, a section of UDA leaders has condemned utterances made during the UDA National Delegation Conference in Kasarani, suggesting that President Uhuru Kenyatta rigged elections in the 2017 polls.
That President Uhuru Kenyatta in January imposed a ban on exports and dealings in scrap metal, hitting traders who were operating in the sector. This included a moratorium on the export or the buying or selling.
Now, that is what was happening on the campaign trail in Nairobi. And we want to take you to an exclusive interview that was carried out by our Mombasa-based reporter, Junaid Karisa, that helped shed, or rather is helping shed light on what is happening as far as politics are concerned in Mombasa County. Now, in this particular interview, Mombasa businessman Suleiman Shabal insists that it is only through a secret ballot that the ODM party can nominate the strongest candidate to compete for the Mombasa gubernatorial seat. Shabal, who is eyeing the county's top seat, is locked in a heated political feud with Mvita Member of Parliament Abdul Swamad Nasir. Here's the exclusive interview.
Suleiman Shahbal is a man on a mission. The businessman is looking to succeed Hassan Joho as the next governor of Mombasa County. And the stakes have never been higher. Shahbal is locked in a spirited political contest against his main challenger Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir for the ODM ticket.
Hao wote ni watu wa chungwa na watu wa Azimio. Sawa? Hataki kuona kama wafuasi wanapigana.
Both feel confident of bagging the party's support, but the ensuing spate of political violence has overshadowed the issues in the campaign.
My politics started with ODM. Unfortunately, because of the mess of 2013, we were literally forced out of the party. But my relationship with Baba goes back many, many years, from the year 2000. So for me, coming back to ODM was a normal thing. It is just, like I said, the prodigal son returns. My return to the party has increased the vibrancy of ODM within Mombasa. That's what's important. The capacity and the ability to deliver to the people. Not what color of t-shirt you've been wearing for the last 10 years. That's loyalty. That's a very cheap definition of loyalty.
Shahbal denies inciting the youth to violence as claimed by his political opponent.
Any political rally is already very charged. Young people get excited by these rallies. You cannot bring people into a rally carrying bakoras and threatening people and not expect a reaction. It's his boys who are creating all the chaos there. Now, you know, the best defense is offense. What business did he have being there in the Women's Day meeting? That was a function for women. I wasn't there. My wife went there, and it was so violent, my security team had to take her out. When things calmed down, she came back again and gave her speech and left. Sasa wewe unakwenda mkutano akina mama and you still want to create violence, okay? Utakuleta fujo kisha unaanza kulalamika. Why did you go?
The businessman says that ODM must ensure it conducts free and fair primaries if it hopes to retain the Mombasa gubernatorial seat.
It is not me, it is not you who determines who will fly the flag. Let the people decide. Let's go for the nominations and let the people decide. I'm ready for nominations. Why are we suddenly getting, why are people suddenly getting very edgy and nervous about this thing? You know, these are people who are used to being given the ticket, the nomination ticket, delivered to their house in 2013, in 2017, and now they're being invited to a match. They are suddenly starting to cry foul. This is politics.
For Shahbal, the mission is not just about development. It also has everything to do with upsetting an alleged status quo in the region's politics.
You cannot have violence as a political philosophy. This is not a revolution we're trying to do here. This is a change in mentality, and a change in attitude, and a change in the economic and political direction of our city. And that will be done by discussions, by ideas. He is a project. It's not that I've branded. He is definitely a project of certain politicians and certain business people. There's no need to substantiate the obvious. But as far as I'm concerned, whether he has a degree or 2 degrees or no degrees, we'll still win this race. The closing shot, ajipange, It's as simple as that. Wachana ni mambo ya, projects always expect to be carried. That's the problem. Now, nobody can carry you past the crossing line. You have to run yourself. You have to cross that line yourself. Me, I'm ready.
Juni Karisa Mbele from Mombasa County.
June, that's the nature of the game.
Indeed, that was an exclusive interview there conducted by reporter Junaid Karisa. Further details, or rather if you missed it, you can find it on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke, as well as our YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1. Now, while that was happening, we're going to be interrogating that, because that issue of, direct party tickets has also found itself on the front page of the various dailies that we have with us in studio. So do keep us company. Now, the National Council for Population and Development has called for proper investment in the young generation to secure the country's future. NCPD Director General Dr. Mohammed Sheikh says without providing the youth with the right skills and opportunities, the country's development is in jeopardy. Sheikh was speaking during an engagement forum with media professionals, where the State Department of Planning and Media Council of Kenya entered into a strategic partnership that will shape the narrative on population and development.
That the larger portion of Kenya's population is the youth provides the country with the ideal opportunity to harness its potential for accelerated socio-economic development to improve its demographic dividend. The National Council for Population and Development says the country risks losing its future reservoir if the potential of the youth is not fully exploited.
The risk of not engaging the youth is when you're losing the potential of your youth, because a person who is aged at the moment, let's say 20, in the next probably 30 years, 50, look at that person and you have not utilized the potential of that person. That's why really we need to do a bit of heavy lifting in the next 30, 40, 50 years.
NCPD Director General Mohammed Sheikh says identifying challenges facing the youth without investing in them with the right skills and opportunities will not yield much.
We need to identify the right education for our youth, and also look at identify the right investment in terms of industries, cottage industries for youth. Job creation is very important. Again, another issue that we need to invest is, again, governance, the right governance. When we don't have, a system that is really cohesive, that's integrating, also youth will have challenges.
Sheikh was speaking during an engagement forum with media professionals, where the State Department of Planning and Media Council of Kenya entered into a strategic partnership that will shape the narrative on population and development.
Building capacity to appreciate what the needs are. Sometimes the messaging is not developed and shaped in the direction that the public would like to feel. And sometimes we don't always get to know the stress buttons that need to be pressed. But through this partnership together, we are able to shape the content.
When we look at our demographics, what we reflect about it, what do young people need to do, which skills you build for them, and how does life proceed. So I think that these are some of the matters that we need to reflect about, and the colleagues in the media be able to highlight.
According to NCPD, the country is on course to attain a less youthful population age structure.
To the business world, where the government has directed scrap metal dealers to seek fresh licensing as part of measures aimed at curbing vandalism associated with the sector. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i says that the ongoing ban will only be lifted when the dealers get fresh licenses and join associations.
President Uhuru Kenyatta in January imposed a ban on exports and dealings in scrap metal, hitting traders who were operating in the sector. This included a moratorium on the export or the buying or selling of any scrap material until proper guidelines were put in place to regulate the sector. The Fresh Licensing Directive is among new regulations that have been proposed to control the sector. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i warned that vandals will be treated as economic saboteurs and will be charged under the counter-terrorism laws. On her part, Trade Cabinet Secretary Betty Maina revealed that over 3,900 scrap metal dealers are operating illegally, with only 20 scrap metal dealers officially licensed in the country, while 91 others have their applications pending. Dealers will also now be required to display the name and license number of their businesses outside their facilities, as well as keep receipts detailing the nature of scrap metal, its source, previous use and registration details. In the regulations, transporters of scrap metal will be expected to carry a copy of their license and obtain a letter authorizing the vehicle to carry the load that must declare details of source and destination. In the proposed regulations, licensed dealers, millers and smelters will be charged 250,000 shillings in annual fees, while agents and Juakali collectors will fork 150,000 and 50,000 shillings respectively.
Now crossing over to the sporting arena, the national volleyball team, Malkia Strikers, will know their opponents in the forthcoming World Championship when the International Volleyball Federation conduct draws for the event this evening. Now in Lausanne, that is going to be happening in Switzerland. The event will be co-hosted by Netherlands and Poland between the 23rd of September and 15th of October this year.
The draws were initially sent to be held last month in Warsaw, Poland, but FIVB delayed and moved the event from Poland to Switzerland due to the current situation in Ukraine. FIVB said they will conduct the draws in a closed, virtual format and verified by an independent auditor, with all participating teams able to view the proceedings live. Africa will be represented by Kenya and Cameroon in the 24-team competition, which will be co-hosted by Netherlands and Poland from September 23rd to October 15. Malkia Strikers will be out to register their second win in the event held every 4 years after beating Kazakhstan 3-0 in the group stage in the previous edition held in 2018 in Belgrade, Serbia.
Now that puts a cap on the news. Just remember, so much is also in store for you on our website. That is www.kbc.co.ke. But we're not done here. We have so much in line, including having a sneak peek to what various scribes have captured in the various dailies that we have with us in studio. To keep it right here.
Experience a new history and setting of new records in Stark Arena from the 18th to 20th of March 2022 at the World Athletics Indoor Championships.
Pretty tight out of the blocks, and Coleman now moving away. Christian Coleman challenged late there by Bromell.
More than 1,000 of the world's best athletes will compete for 96 medals across 24 finals during the 3 days of competition in Belgrade, Serbia. Kenya has a formidable team of 10 athletes, amongst them Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala. It is going to be a blast, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Attention family. Once beaten, twice shy.
I am here to make money, so you better get your act together.
I want nothing to do with the company. Not now, never.
I need to think about it.
Don't take long. You're forgetting a Manjuguna.
Have you been living in a hole or something? No. What choice does he have?
Even if we offer them money, they probably wouldn't take it anyway.
Hey, what are you doing?
Go!
Honey! Hey.
She's obviously thoroughly planned all of this out.
Yes. She's determined to be a part of our family. Oh, God. It's this woman. She made me into a monster mother-in-law that kicked Pinky out.
Did you visit Pinky's parents? Did you give them the money?
like this.
I really care about you.
What are you hiding?
I come here with all humility.
Oh, please, you and humility.
Mama Felix, I am not addressing you. Tunasikia?
Humility just left the building and the real Mark is here.
Nimesema utoke uende.
Every mistake you've done was out of love. Why is mine so different?
You've just realized you want to get to this house and now you don't want to miss everything. Sindio?
You are a fool.
All right, welcome back. And now let's take a look at what we have.
Experience a new history and setting of new records in Stark Arena from the 18th to 20th of March 2022 at the World Athletics Indoor Championships.
Pretty tight out of the blocks, and Coleman now moving away. Kristen Coleman challenged late there by Bromell.
More than 1,000 of the world's best athletes will compete for 96 medals across 24 finals during the 3 days of competition in Belgrade, Serbia. Kenya has a formidable team, 10 athletes, amongst them Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand.
Attention, family. Once bitten, twice shy.
I am here to make money, so you better get your act together.
I want nothing to do with the company. Not now, never.
I need to think about it.
Don't take long.
You're forgetting I'm Njuguna.
Have you been living in a hole or something? No. What choice does he have?
Even if we offer them money, they probably wouldn't take it anyway.
Hey, what are you doing?
Go!
Honey! Hey.
She's obviously thoroughly planned all of this out.
Yes. She's determined to be a part of our family. Oh, God. It's this woman. She made me into a monster mother-in-law that kicked Pinky out.
Did you visit Pinky's parents? Did you give them the money?
Listen,
What do people think if they find us like this?
I really care about you.
What are you hiding?
I come here with all humility.
Oh, please, you and humility.
Mama Felix, I am not addressing you. Tunasikia?
Humility just left the building and the real Mark is here.
Nimesema utoke uende.
Every mistake you've done was out of love. Why is mine so different?
You've just realized you want to get to this house and now you don't want to miss everything. Sindio?
You are a fool.
Okay, now we are back. All right. Front pages of our local dailies on the Star. IBC wants manual results given priority. Electoral agency wants physically delivered results to take precedence over electronic transmission when differences occur. In proposed changes to the election laws, the IBC wants Parliament to pave the way for both manual and electronic transmission of presidential results. However, where there is a variance between the two, the physical results would supersede the electronic results. So it's one of the developing stories that IBC is trying to put forward, and they're now asking Parliament to make such changes on the election bill of 2021 to pave way for such changes. All right, on the front page again, shocker for ODM aspirants as Raila's party starts issuing direct tickets. I will give you details on that briefly. Supervisor and 63 candidates arrested in Kakuma camp. Again, a brief story there. Pressure mounts on Ruto to resign after defection. Pro-handshake team wants Jubilee MPs who have joined UDA to quit. This actually, they argued that his tenure has been brought into question after accepting nomination as the presidential candidate for the United Democratic Alliance. So they are requesting the deputy president to resign. Samburu shooters kill cop, steal 4 rifles and 200 bullets. It is said that they injured his colleague, the two officers. The gang, which is believed to have been on motorcycles, attacked Lodoko Jack police post on Tuesday night and shot dead Constable Joel Mushai. The number had not been established, and it's also reported that they injured his colleague, Constable Eric Miano, who was in the same house. They went ahead and broke into a metal box that contained 4 G3 rifles and escaped with them, plus the 200 bullets. So police are still investigating. But one piece says that bandits on revenge missions attack the area and steal animals. Others do so for cultural purposes, such as acquiring animals as a bride price and proving courage. Okay.
All right, let's now move on to the front page of the Daily Nation. So many stories have been featured here. We start with this first one concerning Keroche breweries as they roared back to life after the 957 million tax arrears deal was reached between Keroche administration and the Kenya Revenue Authority, which is said to be paid over a period of 2 years starting January of this year. So it will be backdated, and payments will be ongoing for the next 2 years. The next story, education, still here. They go on to feature the cases concerning cheating that have been reporting during these exams, the KCSE. Even after show of tight security, KCSE exams leaked. This is a story that has been covered here in great detail on the back page, with concern being raised as more KCSE cases of cheating have been reported, with Tuesday having been the day that recorded the highest number of cheating, and especially so in Turkana West sub-county, which resulted in the arrest of many teachers and students that were found to be in possession of different variations of cheating paraphernalia in this particular case. Coming to the main story here on the front page of the Daily Nation, head to head. This is the battle between former Premier Raila Odinga and Deputy President Dr. William Ruto, and now it is a question of numbers and the battleground that stands between these two gentlemen, with estimated 8.4 million votes in areas that are perceived to be Raila strongholds, and Ruto has an estimated 8 million votes in the areas that are perceived to be his strongholds. But right there at the center, there is a lose 5 million votes that could be the swing that will determine which of these two leaders actually gets to win the August 9th, general elections. We'll be giving you details, of course. And finally, Odinga, he said, I will make Uhuru my advisor. And this was during the interview that he was having with BBC, saying that there is so much that we can benefit as a country from President Kenyatta, even as he goes into retirement. And of course, on one side, people are saying these are signs that the former Premier Raila Odinga might actually appoint the president in a certain capacity if he does become president. But we have seen the president insisting that he will go into retirement. And this is from past interaction. He has been keen on saying that he will go into retirement. But from what this is pointing, experts are saying the president could be ripe for opposition under the Raila administration. That is basically the front page of the Daily Nation for you this morning. The rest are just many figures that you would think are other stories, but it just goes down to break the numbers when it comes to this particular perceived strongholds between Raila Odinga and Dr. William Ruto. Doreen.
IBC is set to summon Gatundu South lawmaker, that is Moses Kuria, obviously over those remarks that he made during the UDA NDC. And the question perhaps is, why is this coming out now? Remember that also the Murang'a women representative made similar remarks concerning voter rigging and rigging claims. 9 days ago as well, the DP raised concerns while he was at the UK, saying that there's some factions who are planning to steal the election. Perhaps what informed the 2017 part of former Prime Minister's speech that was dubbed "Our Democracy is in Question." When you look at the voter apathy that really has dominated this year's voter listing, are there some of the reasons that have informed that? Why exactly is this coming out now? What does it say about our IEBC and the electorate altogether with just 144 days to the general elections? What does it say about our leaders? Why are these sentiments just coming out now? Is it really true that our democracy is in question? Some of the questions that we need to be asking ourselves, because, well, maybe not the first, not the second time. Is it set to continue coming out? And basically, what will the IEBC do this time around? So even as this is happening, Raila promises tough war on corruption, impunity. He has laid out strategies to deal with this once he is elected as president. That is what he has said. Of course, when we get the details, I'll be telling you perhaps how he plans to deal with that, given that that has been a big menace in this country. And also gloves off as Ruto takes war to Uhuru, whereby he is scheduled to campaign at President Ishaweri village in moves seen as taking on his boss directly. And also cell phones are the center of exams cheating. Looks like this particular story has just made its way on all the different dailies that we have today, as well as new tough rules for scrap metal dealers. And lastly, Keroche KRA enter an agreement on tax payment plan, whereby they are slated to do this over a period of 24 months. Regina.
Now, I pick it up from that issue on matters examinations. Remember, this is an exercise that has been keenly, been receiving a lot of government attention there, with various PSs and CSs traversing various parts of the country to ensure that this particular exercise is seamless. On the front page of this particular daily, that issue about, phones being a menace in as far as the transparency and accountability of the national examination is concerned. And these are sentiments that are shared by the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha there, saying that the government is considering the total ban of the use of mobile phones in schools during national examinations. We'll be giving you details of that and so much more. And also a story here that has been making headlines for the last 1 week or so, and this pertains matters of Keroche. Now, Keroche is set to reopen after it signed a deal with KRA, and it has been given 24 months to pay 957 million shillings in arrears, starting with a 21 million goodwill. For that to actually happen. At least remember, Tabitha Karanja, the CEO, had come out to say that if KRA doesn't open up the brewer, then over 200 people are set to lose their jobs. So this is a welcome reprieve for those who benefit from that particular industry directly and indirectly. The main read this morning is all about politics, and the scribe here chose to go with Azimio fresh fight to force the deputy president to resign. And if you were watching our debate yesterday, where Victor Olo was engaging various analysts to just, try and understand the current political scene as is, and the question of now what happens to Deputy President and his position within Jubilee, given that over the weekend at the NDC he was given, the mantle to be the presidential flag bearer for UDA. Questions were answered there. I'm sure Victor has more insight in regard to this matter. Now, this has become an issue, and according to this particular paper, is that angered by Ruto's scathing and persistent attack on government, Uhuru and Raila allies have renewed their calls for him to quit, questioning his continued stay in the same government he's increasingly criticizing. Now, what we know and the fact is that Deputy President William Ruto, as well as the President Uhuru Kenyatta, are somewhat tied to the hip, given that their election, they were elected, as a duo. So his term terminates when the president's term terminates. But what does it say when it comes to his participation or him being a member of Jubilee? Maybe Victor, you can remind us what the analysts had to say in regard to this matter. And quoted on this particular story also is Jeremiah Kioni, who says members of the Jubilee Party want to tell Deputy President that he's out of order. This is where we draw the line. Enough is enough. We say so because the Deputy President is an active member of what he called a mongrel government. Victor, you could probably weigh in on this. What was the take home from that particular conversation that you had yesterday?
Absolutely. And actually, from what you said, it answers everything. You remember, the Deputy President all through has been quite categorical that he would not resign. The reason is what you've just said. They were elected as a pair. The presidency, they are actually joined at the hip. So the moment the president will, exit office, that's the exact point the Deputy President will also quit. It becomes tricky. That is why you hear many calls for him to resign, not exit, or he cannot be expelled even by the party, because the moment they were elected as a pair, that is one. So if the president is feeling the heat, he has nothing to do. That is why yesterday Jeremiah Kioni, who is now the SecGen of Jubilee Party, they're still calling on the DP to quote unquote do the honorable thing and resign. Because as it is, there is no party discipline. Actually, most people have defected from Jubilee and joined UDA. Most people have defected from ODM and joined different parties, DAPK to ODM. There is no party discipline. Remember, we had a discussion here with Dr. Rotich yesterday, and that's exactly what he said, that there's nothing much that can be done. And that is why there are some changes which are supposed to be made in the elections laws in Parliament, to fine-tune some of these, the provisions in Parliament where the president would be given that mandate to fire his deputy at whim. Because as it is, I think they've had some rough run in the administration. So, tutakaa tu mpaka mwisho.
Now, before I let you off the hook, and as we're closing this conversation about, the stories that have been making headlines and the various dailies, there's this issue of, direct tickets given to popular, or rather, the chosen few.
Yes.
We've had that exclusive interview there with Juni Karisa there, where he was talking to Shabal there, who went and said that the secret ballot is the only way to ensure that the real leaders, the ones that the constituents want, are the ones who are going to get those particular tickets. Now, also, on the other hand, the Orange Party says it has conducted an opinion poll in certain areas to pick most popular candidates for certain seats. Come April 21st, in your opinion, Victor, what do you expect to see?
It's a question, again, that I've asked so many people here, including legal minds. What's their take? You know, we have got universal suffrage, direct ticket, we have got secret ballot. And, you know, it's now a coalition of parties. We have got over 10, 15 parties joining and forming the Azimio la Umoja coalition. So what will happen is that ODM and any other party, DAPK, call it Jubilee, KANU, Wiper, they'll go on the ground. And where they have some strength, for example, in this scenario, it's ODM. When they go to a particular region where ODM is dominant, then they will give a direct ticket. Because the moment they give the secret ballot, there will be a split in votes. Reason being, when Jane is popular in ODM and I am popular in Party X, and then we go on for a secret ballot, then I win and ODM loses, then most likely another candidate from a different party who is rivaling us would easily take that ticket or that seat. So what do? They will give that, that ticket to one strong candidate, the dominant party in that region, to avoid that fallout. And you see, that really saves a lot of time, resources, and even the fallout. And for those people who will not be given that chance, they'll be now required to support the candidate. So with ODM, actually there's that bit here on the Star, which says that ODM said it has finalized scientific opinion polls across the country and will issue certificates to aspirants with a wide lead. However, where there are no clear favorites, the party will hold primaries, also to be issued with direct tickets as single applicants. So that's exactly what I was talking about. So if Jen doesn't have any opponent or competitor, then she'll get that direct ticket.
And that's the same narrative that also UDA
yes.
a while back did say they're going to employ, because again, looking at the math that comes into play, looking at this area, who has the biggest chunk of votes or commands a big authority, it only makes sense to go that way. And actually, political critics are saying that this is something that strategists from UDA borrowed from Raila Odinga's history back in 2013 and in 2017. It was the same strategy that was applied when it comes to these nominations.
So direct nominations, Regina,
they're going to be there.
Could this be why the ODM is now requesting for police security during party primaries? That is the chair lead board saying that they want peaceful primaries. Perhaps what could be looming in there, that this is why they need security on board?
Absolutely. And you see, Regina, for example, you can imagine if you have 10 aspirants. Let me give an example of my county, Homa Bay County. There are so many aspirants there for the gubernatorial seat. So the party will have, they have got the intelligence on the ground. And the party knows that candidate X, Y, Z has more strength than all the candidates. So what are we going to do? Because I know there is party Y, X, and Z as well. I'm going to give Victor that ticket. Oh, I wish it was me. But then anyway, to save more time and resources.
Well, April 21st indeed is coming along. I think Shai, 1 month or so, Shai will see what is going to be happening. And trust me, if you think the political scene is hot, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. All I can tell you as constituents is that, you know, and Wanjiko, is that we need to know that your voice is your choice and it can only materialize at the ballot. Kagua kabla ya kuchagua, tafadhali.
Regina, which seat are you going for? Which seat are you running for?
At which seat am I going for?
I should host you here.
Hey, people in politics.
Yes.
Well, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, I will actually take up politics. But for now, the seat that I occupy is that I'm the queen of my life, man.
Wololo.
I'm a monarch.
Q's West Life.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm a queen.
That brings us to a close of this segment. But do stay with us. We have so much more lined up for you coming up in just a bit. Stay with us.
Experience a new history and setting of new records in Stark Arena from the 18th to 20th of March 2022 at the World Athletics Indoor Championships.
Pretty tight out of the blocks, and Coleman now moving away. Christian Coleman challenged late there by Bromell.
More than 1,000 of the world's best athletes will compete for 96 medals across 24 finals during the 3 days of competition in Belgrade, Serbia. Kenya has a formidable team, 10 athletes, amongst them Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala. It is going to be a blast, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
With over 2.4 million operators and a network that covers the entire nation, the boda subsector has revolutionized transport experience in Kenya. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The Boda Story, a 4-part special series beginning this Thursday on KBC Channel 1 News. Don't miss the Boda Story, a real story of our times.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
Someone ran over Rogelio, and it seems like it's really serious.
We have to investigate Mr. Demian Ferrer. I think there's something here that just doesn't ring right. Don't you agree?
But you didn't kill the man. And he is in intensive care right now. I saw you hugging Denise, Leonardo. And from what I can see, you took my advice in through one ear and let it out the other.
Take care of him, please.
Don't worry, Santi will do just fine.
Lying heart. Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
Karibu sana to the program. We are now back with our first conversation this Thursday morning, and it's all about entertainment and the gospel scene specifically. We keep talking about perhaps it not going the right direction, but those who describe themselves as gospel ministers, if given a chance, what will they do? That is the conversation we want to have this morning, and I'm joined by Nelly Kanazi. She is a gospel artist, gospel minister. Karibu sana to the program, Nelly.
Thank you so much.
You have a story. Let's start from there. You began writing in 2006, 2007.
Yes.
But ukaanza kurecord 2014. Was it, no, 2021.
2021.
Why did you take that long break na ulianza kuandika kitambo sana?
Okay, when I started maybe writing these songs, like now I knew I could write, yeah, a script of the song. Okay, so many things happened on the way. I was very young then, remember? I think I was 19 years, like immediately after high school.
Yeah.
That's when I started, okay, I used to sing back in primary, in my Sunday school and all that. Yeah, I came to the praise and worship. So I discovered I have a voice. That is the first thing. I discovered I have a voice. People could tell me, wow, you can sing. Yeah, but now starting writing my own songs, I wrote the first one in 2006. Yeah, so it took me a bit of time because after that I went back to college and all that. So many things happened. I got married, the baby getting processed and all that, taking care of them and all that. And I can just say it is the right time. It was the right time.
Okay, is this why then they keep saying that female artists, and this is just in general, whether gospel or secular, doesn't really matter, that they are not as consistent? Because you began writing in 2006, 2007, you started recording in 2021. I've not had anywhere where you've mentioned that finances was quite a bit of a challenge, so it looked like there were other factors like getting married, going back to school and all of that that perhaps inhibited you from recording. So does that actually agree with the fact that female artists are consistent?
Okay, let me say that it's not that we are not consistent.
Okay.
I think as a woman, as a whole, like not even the musicians, mwanamke, tuseme kama mwanamke, like
just a woman.
Just a woman, like me now, I am a woman.
Yeah.
I think the barriers ahead of us are quite many, yeah, to maybe reach where we want to reach. Because, like, for example, I've talked about childbearing and such. Yeah, you know, like, for example, if I have a baby, like you as a mother, you are the one to take care of this baby. You know, like your husband can be out there, but you'll be the one, okay, let me say the main person with this child. Okay, so I think the barriers to a woman are more compared to men. That's my view, and I think it's true.
So you should stop saying that female artists are inconsistent.
We are
should
not
just understand.
Just understand that whatever that is ahead of us, and you need that time also to do all this. So, yeah.
Okay, your first song, was it Tunaku Pamba, is it?
No.
It wasn't?
That's my third song.
That's
actually
your
the
latest song.
Yes.
So your first was Baba na Kuabudu.
Yes,
Tell
Baba
us a bit about that one.
Okay, Baba Tunakuabudu, that's the first song, as I said, I wrote in 2006. Yeah, so Baba Nakuabudu, okay, it is a worship song, just worshiping the Lord of what he had done to me at that time, a young girl, you know, doing all this at the age of 19, you can just imagine. And I sincerely saw the grace of God on me, because even in the praise and worship, I could see his presence. Yeah, just there. He's using me, and people could appreciate. And the many, many things that he has done family-wise and all that, to the far that he had brought me. So God gave me this song. I can't say I normally, like, I can start writing now, nikwambie ninaandika song. I don't know if other people do it that way, but I dream my songs. I dream my songs, I get, you know, napata mpaka hiyo, inaitwa jeni tune, hiyo beat, and a message.
Through dreams?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I normally do it in two ways. I can do it through a dream.
Okay.
Or I have a revelation of a song, maybe walking and all that. So I get that revelation of a song and I write. But I normally receive your beat and the message. Now I can go down and sit, maybe get the Bible and, inquire and then write. So I dreamt Baba tunakuabudu. Yeah. And later, I know my mommy is watching me somewhere, and I'm not going to say this in detail. She commented something, and I was like, yes. Yeah, like the last part of that song says, like, kama sio wewe, baba ningekuwa wapi. My mother commented something, and I was like, okay, maybe this is the reason I wrote this song. Yeah.
Why don't you want to tell us what she commented?
Let me not say that.
All right, so to say that your music, your songs are Holy Spirit inspired. And I think I want us to stay there a bit, because when you look at the space right now, particularly gospel, I mean, the kind of conversation we're having anyway, there's a lot of talk about artists just sing just because. I mean, some would say the gospel space is one of those paying kind of sector in music. Some would say it's one of those areas that you would want to get famous very quick.
Somehow I can.
Okay.
I agree.
Konini?
Okay, let me say, let me talk about myself and maybe many others. Naona ni kama like in music, like in gospel, it also depends. Okay? Like we have gospel artists, and some of us maybe call ourselves gospel
ministers,
music ministers.
Okay.
You see, so these are very two different people. Okay, being a gospel minister, it means this is a job, like something you are doing for God. Are you getting?
Yes.
Something you are doing for God. It is an assignment that you are doing. You are ministering on something. Okay? So a minister listens from God most. Listens from God. Like, to be sincere, I cannot write a song if I'm not connected. That's me. I can finish writing a song and then ask myself, but how did I even do this? Hii song yote nimeandika. Sasa hata nimeandika namna gani? I don't even understand it myself. I can't write a song if I'm not connected. So a minister has a source, the source of the message.
Okay.
Yes. You listen directly from God. You receive a message from God, and that's what you deliver. You can attest, I think you've listened to many music.
Yes.
Unasikiza muziki, and there is nothing you feel.
Unasikia hii iko na Holy Spirit.
Na ingine unasikia hii iko na backup.
Na hii ni sauti.
Na hii ni sauti tu.
You can actually tell,
by the way, tell if you're very keen. Unasikia hapa, haka kasong kako na backup fulani. Like ile tu una charge simu. There is a backup to this song. Na zingine unasikia tu hapana. This is just singing. Okay, there is a difference between singing and ministry. Yes.
So you describe yourself as a gospel minister?
Yes, I'm a gospel music minister.
Not just a gospel minister, but a gospel music minister.
Minister, yes. I minister through music.
Owing to the fact that your inspiration comes from the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And is that your entire inspiration, or is there something else beyond that?
Okay, I think that is the main for me. That is the main for me. I think you've talked about maybe music paying or something.
Yeah.
To be sincere, when I started all this thing, I had no idea. Actually, I've learned about the paying after I've released my first song. Sasa ndo ninaanza kuambiwa na wenzangu, like this happens. Yeah, this thing can pay or all that. But the main thing that inspires me, to dwell in this, it is a calling in me. And that's why I'm doing it, and that's why I'm sponsoring it and making sure that it is out there. I can't say it's paying. We are not. I just started last year, so I can't say I've received a penny.
But you began from way back, only that you began recording last year. Speaking of way back anyway, it was in 2006, 2007, as you mentioned, you were 19, so clearly you were sort of young.
Yes, I was.
And you were writing, not recording. What kind of support did family play in your writing?
Okay, let me say, like my mother, she saw this. She really saw this coming. Yeah, aliona sana. So she used to really encourage me. Yeah. And to sing, like she made sure that I go to church, first of all, and I get that opportunity to serve. I can also thank my pastor, really so much. I know he's not watching me, but he will see this later. Pastor Nyashoti, this man of God encouraged me. He gave me the platform to serve. Yeah. And the people, the family members, they gave me the opportunity to really serve. Yeah, when they saw me, maybe nikitoka, like from college, I come back home during the holidays. You know, the support they give you, yani wanakupatia yote, like, hey, kindly serve. Now you are here, serve. Yeah, just serve. So I can say from the family, they encouraged me and made sure that I have the platform to serve at that moment. But also, as a parent also, unataka pia mtoto asome. Imagine this time sijaenda hata kole.
Unaandika tu.
Andika tu wimbo hapo. Ni msanii. Unaona pia mzazi anataka pia usome. Yeah. So hata kama anakuona pia unaimba, anataka you do the other part. Yeah.
That song playing, which one is that?
That is Baba Tunakuabudu.
Oh, the one that we just talked about.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you look at that support system, I mean, honestly, oftentimes when you talk to artists, this is again in general, they would tell you just the way you've mentioned, mzazi anataka uende usome, but at least much as they wanted that, they still supported you. Oftentimes, good number of artists, they lack that. When you look at the kind of support you had, fast forward, what kind of impact has it made in you, just as a gospel music minister, as you describe yourself?
Come up again, please.
In terms of the kind of impact it has made to you, even just as you look forward as a parent as well, when it comes to supporting children, when it comes to the arts space, impact gani hiyo support imekuwa kwako all through, and even as you look forward to it?
I can say in terms of support, or rather, I don't know if to speak it up in terms of a woman. Yeah, like I have a daughter, 5 years old. I know she's watching, mommy, and this girl sings, you know. This girl sings so much, and I can see it. At 5 years, I can see this girl can sing. Yeah, so I can say the support that I can give to this girl, maybe, or the parents there that are seeing like this, their babies are gifted in that. Yeah, just to mentor them, just to give them an opportunity, yeah, to do what they love. Okay, CBC squeezy hata inatu allow. Yeah, so maybe buying for them some the instruments, maybe a keyboard in the house, let them learn to do some stuff, give them an opportunity to sing, like what was done to me by my mother. She made sure that I have that platform, and she took me to where I can at least minister and discover more about myself. So I can say really that has impacted me to even look now at my daughter, okay, and raise her to become what she wants to become. And also, I can say too many, I have gone maybe to places to minister, and then somebody runs to me like, I want to do music. Very young girls, hata mimi nataka, how do you do it? So maybe as I know I'm not up there, but at least unaona ninapata hata kama ni hawa kidogo wenye tuko kiwango kimoja huku chini. So just lifting. Let's try and lift one another. Yeah, we need that encouragement. Have somebody to mentor. Yeah, if I get somebody to mentor me also, I won't, you know, sitaskia vibaya. Sitaskia vibaya. Yeah.
All right. You say that when you go to places to minister, you have those that come to you, and obviously that just means that you perform as well as record.
Yeah.
Which one is good for you, performing or recording? I mean, sometimes you would meet some artists, they will tell you that for me, performance is good because when I get to hear the shouts of my audience, it gives me motivation. So which one is it for you?
For me, is ministering. I think it's one of the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. When I go to record, like from the starting of it all, like as I've said, maybe having the song, writing it down, going to the studio for the audios first, and maybe to the shooting of the video, and then it's out there, you are invited to go and minister. To me, all that is ministry. I don't think I can separate it.
Okay, so it's just one and the same, whether it's performance or recording.
And I can also say this, even without these songs, as I told you, I used to sing. I used to minister.
So if you weren't singing, you still would be singing?
Yes, even without.
where we keep saying that our gospel ministry is not quite in the right direction, as it were. I mean, when you are in this journey, whether it's from when you began writing up to now that you've started recording, in between when you took a break, who were your mentors? Have you had a chance to have someone who has walked with you?
To speak the truth, no.
So it has been you all the way?
It's been me. It has been me.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So who do you look up to? Who would you want to mentor you then? Because you just said that kuna wale wenye pia wanakuangalia wanakuambia Nelly, I think unaweza nisaidia hapa na pale. And I mean, you can't quite mentor if you haven't been mentored.
Okay. How can I say that? So, are you asking me maybe somebody in music who can mentor me?
It could be anyone.
Or?
You also talked about your pastor who was a very good support system for you.
I could like to be mentored, to be sincere, to be shown the way on doing the right thing. Yeah, you know, like for example, as I said, I normally write just my own songs. I've never I've never even gone for a voice training or something. So anything or anybody that can make me become a better person, a better version of a music minister. Yeah, I can really welcome that. Yeah, in writing, even if it is akuonyeshe, sinikwambia najiandikia tu na sijauliza mtu, like I just write, from what I receive, and maybe voice, maybe it's not coming up very well. There's some people who are telling me that sauti nimeimbia tunakupamba, it's quite more refined than,
which is your latest song.
Yes, so more refined growth. Than it has improved. You know, so I think with time it is improving. So if you get somebody also to help you in this, to help me in this, that is to just become a better version of me, to become better in music, I really welcome that.
And that you have in mind? I mean, they just can't come to you and start saying, Nelly, by the way.
Okay, at the moment, actually, the person who is really helping me into this is actually my producer.
That's what I wanted you to say all this while, and you're not saying it.
My producer, David.
So he's now like your mentor. Yes. He's guiding you.
He mentors me when I go there, ataniambia, do this, this one can become, itatoka poa, kushinda hii. So at the moment, he helps me.
All right, talk to us about Tunakupamba as we sort of bring the conversation to a close, which is your latest song.
My latest song now, this was not a dream song. This was a revelation song. I remember I was going to town. So wanatembea kidogo ndo nipande gari, then now I go. So hiyo distance, I was coming actually to town for an exam. So hiyo kutembea tu nikiangalia mazingira. I stay at Spring Valley, a lot of trees and all that. I just had this voice. Nikapata hii song. I've sung most about God's creation. So it was a revelation from what I'm just seeing. The trees, the mountain and all that. So I was just telling God, ametumba sisi sote. And he's worthy. Just worthy of our praise.
And that's the song right there on the screen. Is it?
Yes.
Which is your latest song?
That is my latest song.
All
it is 2 weeks old.
Of God's glory?
creation.
Okay. All right. So what next for you as a gospel music minister? I mean, you have already 3 songs. Are all of them recorded?
The 3 songs?
Yeah, you have Tunakupamba, Asubuhi Kicheko, your first song as well, which you talked about. So what next for you as a gospel music minister? More music
coming. Actually, nilishoot video mbili nikifanya Tunakupamba. So another one is coming called Destiny very soon. It is a reggae.
So you took a break, but now you're coming like you never took a break.
Fire. With fire. I remember my pastor, the one I was talking about, when he saw the first song, he told me the giant has woken because he knows what I'm capable of by the grace of God. So sahi nimbele. By the grace of God nimbele. Yes.
So your fans will expect more content, more music,
more content.
More and more content.
Yes.
All right.
We trust God for provision and all this because everything,
It needs money. But you didn't talk about money, so it looks like you're good. You didn't talk about money when you're telling us your story, so it looks like finances are not really quite a challenge for you.
Okay, to be sincere, it's not, music is quite expensive. But anyway, as I said, this is a ministry. So I normally go back to the giver.
And say, so what are we doing now? Hakuna
kakitu. So somehow he provides. Yeah, I'm still looking up unto him to provide even for the next song. He may touch people that are watching me. Yeah, in his own way, let him provide. I will appreciate that.
All right. Well said, and a good place to end this conversation. I've been speaking to Nelly Kananzi, who describes herself as a gospel music minister, just trying to see those that are in this space, what can they do to change or at least sort of bring back the gospel space to the right area that it needs to be. But we're not yet done with this conversation around entertainment. We are coming back with so much more, so stay with us after this break.
Vizazi na vizazi vyasimulia makuu yako, mimi sinakiri. Wewe ndiwe Bwana, wastahili sifa za moyo wangu Bwana. Wewe pekee wastahili kuabudiwa vizazi na vizazi, vyasimulia makuu yako, mimi sinakiri. Wewe ndiwe Bwana. Wala Sharoni, yungi yungi bondeni, mamba imara, kamwe hautingisiki. Wala Sharoni, yungi yungi bondeni, mamba imara, kamwe hautingisiki.
Experience a new history and setting of new records in Stark Arena from the 18th to 20th of March 2022 at the World Athletics Indoor Championships.
Pretty tight out of the blocks, and Coleman now moving away. Christian Coleman challenged late there by Bromell.
More than 1,000 of the world's best athletes will compete for 96 medals across 24 finals during the 3 days of competition in Belgrade, Serbia. Kenya has a formidable team, 10 athletes, amongst them Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala. It is going to be a blast, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Even if we offer them money, they probably wouldn't take it anyway.
Hey, what are you doing?
Go!
Honey! Hey.
She's obviously thoroughly planned all of this out.
Yes. She's determined to be a part of our family. Oh God, it's this woman. She made me into a monster mother-in-law that kicked Pinky out.
Did you visit Pinky's parents? Did you give them the money?
Ninachokufanya na kuhakikishia ni kwa manufaa yetu sote.
Hizi nguvu za giza mimi nitaka ziishe.
Sijui haswa nilifanya nini mpaka uhusiano wetu ukaribika, ama nilikosea nini dadangu.
Na mara mwisho kumuona mamako alikuwa ni lini?
Nimechoka Maya. Nimechoka.
Tayari mimi na mamako siku hizi network hazishikane kabisa, alafu na wewe waenda kuongeza mambo ya mapenzi.
mikononi mwake, mfalme wa wafalme, mfalme wa wafalme, amejizungushia mwanga kama vazi, amezitanaza mbingu kama hema, amejenga makao yake juu ya maji ya mbingu.
Sauti yako kama maji mengi, ukinena upepo unatulia, inatisha kama ngurumo na radi, hata dhoruba inakusikia. Tuliza mawimbi kwa neno lako, ndiwe Mungu wangu leo. Kinena napata amani, sijamuona kama wewe. Nena na moyo wangu, ukinena nitapona. Kama yanatafutavyo maji, nakutamani Yesu. Hakuna wa kufanana nawe. Yesu, Yesu, hakuna wa kufananishwa nawe, hakuna wala wa kulinganishwa nawe, hakuna, hakuna.
Wewe Jenny Nyamaza, we are back. And let me tell you, it's just been an interesting kind of off-air conversation as Nisi's second last song was playing. Yani wala tunadhanianga mtu anaweza kuwa na talent moja peke yake. We are here to bring you this person. Kama you always watch lunchtime news on KBC Channel 1. Well, here is our guest. Here, ndio huyo. Msanii mtangazaji.
Sasa poa.
Unafilaje?
Nasikia poa sana.
Unasikia vile operator ameguswa mpaka anasema umwekelea mikono before tuke kwa hii set.
Mko na good vibes kwa hii set.
Mimi ati wewe utangazanga peke yake. Kumbe pia uko na sauti. Na uko na word.
Asante sana.
But we want to talk about the gospel music and your journey. I mean, you began singing about, is it 5 years ago?
Professionally?
Yeah.
Yeah. Professionally, I began in 2017. That's five years ago.
Exactly 5 years ago.
But I've been singing since I knew how to talk. I was singing, yeah.
What is this thing about wasanii that I began singing while I was in high school? I began singing while I was a kid.
High school hata ni mbali.
Ikitu inazanga tu mtu akiwa toddler.
Mimi nakumbuka tu nikiimbanga tu, you know. I remember singing all the time. But my clearest memory of singing was, you know, I was always those children who are put at the front in the Parents' Day. Unaikuwa hapo mbele, mnaingia wazazi wakiwa, music festivals. I was just always involved. But then I remember when I was in class 6, which was I was 12, this lady called Mrs. Kinywa Warutere. She gave me a hymn to sing. Courage, brother. So, courage, brother, do not stumble, though thy path be dark as night. There's a star to guide the humble. Trust in God and do the right.
Sauti za kinyumbani. Sauti za kinyumbani ndo hizo.
Nilikuwa naimba, but I didn't know that my voice, you could say that I could sing.
Okay.
So she wrote it on the blackboard. She asked if I could lead it, and I did. And she just said so many nice things to me. I think that's the memory I have of anyone. The very first person who told me I could sing was Mrs. Kenya. I hope you're alive and God bless you. Thank you so much.
So you attribute also a big part of your success or being in the gospel space to her?
Mrs. Kenya Warutere. Yes.
We always have that teacher who just sort of brings out
They're
what
not all
God has placed in us.
Yeah.
Like you can actually read news, by the way. You can actually do good in singing.
Yeah.
Which you actually do read news.
I do.
And you sing.
I do.
Basically, you're a journalist and an artist.
Yes.
Which one took precedence?
So I began as a singer. Like I said, singing has always been a part of me. So, but now coming to that place where I crossed the line, I sang in primary school. I don't remember singing so much in high school because high school is teenage years. You become shy. There's all sorts of things going on in your body. You don't want to be seen by people. You're afraid of what your friends would say. Hata hizi imba najifanyanga tu. So high school, I don't remember singing so much. Form 4, a friend of mine called Sharon at Sabo, she used to make me sing. I was the radio. Like on Sundays, tunaosha tu socks hapo. I'm singing reggae tunes. And we grew up to the songbooks. I don't know how old you are, but we grew up to you're very young. So we used, let me tell you what we used to do as old people.
Which year is this?
We had,
let's see if I'm young or older.
I don't like 15 years, 20 years ago. I don't know.
That was when you were in what?
High school.
Yeah.
So we had songbooks, and there was a daily that had, they used to put for us songs in the newspaper. So you'd cut out that song, you'd stick it on a book, and then you'd write the lyrics that were, like, let's say who? Joe, we grew up to Joe, Mariah's, the Whitneys, the Boys to Men.
Yeah.
So there'd be a picture of Joe and then his song, and then you'd copy the song on this side of the book. So uko na side ya picha na side ya nyimbo. So we used to keep those things and keep them. So in high school tulikuwa na songbooks. So on Sundays tukiosha socks, mimi ndo naimbia watu, mimi ndo radio. That's my memory of singing in high school.
Songbooks, like you'd also write the lyrics?
No, the lyrics were, that's like a song like what? Unbreak my heart, we say you love me again. Yeah. So there'd be a song, iko kwa gazeti.
Alafu unakata,
kind of like bars. Do you know?
Unakata alafu na patch or...
Yeah, so you have an exercise to...
See, I've also experienced that.
I have. So that was our like, what can you say? There was no YouTube. Hiyo ilikuwa sasa record yako ya nyimbo. So I used to sing those songs for people in school. So singing has always been a part of me. That's what I'm trying to say, way back. Then now, when I grew up and became an adult after high school, I didn't envision myself as someone who'd write and sing music. I had other interests. In fact, I went to school and did psychology. Later, when I became a Christian, like a born-again Christian, I went to Park University. I did Bible and Theology, Transformational Church Leadership. So I didn't even want or think that I'd be a singer. So in this prayer meeting, like 12 years ago, this lady, Rachel Cholwa, she spoke to me and she said, God said he's going to give you the gift of songwriting. And you're going to write songs, and he's also going to put you on TV. I didn't have interest for TV. I didn't know that I'd write songs. I just wanted to be a counselor. And I even worked as a counselor in Mombasa at Chuda District Hospital. I also worked as a counselor with an NGO called Wana Omola. So I was like the in-house therapist. That's what I thought I'd be.
You really wanted to do.
Yeah, that's what I went to school to study. So when this lady said, God said, that was like 12 years ago. I hadn't started writing songs. I didn't even know how to start. I was just okay with singing at church. Fast forward 7 years after that was spoken over my life by this wonderful lady during prayer. And she's not even a prophet or, you know, one of those people who you're praying with, and then she's like, I just feel God saying to tell you.
I can see him telling me that you, something like that.
Yes, she just said, you know, Nisi, while you were praying, God said to tell you this and this. And I was so excited. I was like, I'm going to be a big celebrity, big time. God, amesema, etc. What 7 years of nothing?
This is after
the prophecy. Yes. After
so
the prophecy.
7 years you're not writing?
I'm not writing.
You're
songs.
Not on TV?
I even tried to write. Oh my gosh, my songs
You're still
are sounding.
Not on TV?
Oh Lord.
You're basically nothing what she said.
I was working as a therapist.
Oh,
I was working with children.
I
was working with street families. I was just doing church ministry. So I was like, this lady lied. God didn't say. Because, you know, I was hoping next month, mutaniona kwa TV, ndakuwa naimba, you know, so.
Yeah.
So I forgot that dream. Like, along the way, 12 years is a long time. I forgot that dream. And I remember just now that feeling of recording being so strong on my heart. And I said, okay, God, if you really spoke to that lady, and if you really did say that I was going to write songs, then let's see you do it. You know, but in the background I was singing in church as a worship leader. I was just really serving and doing my life, just getting married, having children, and doing the life. I was just like, anyway, I already have a life. So so now that first song I wrote, that Nakutegemea was my first song, and I had come from a place of prayer, and I said, you know, Lord, I'm just not feeling satisfied in my work anymore. So if you really in counseling as a psychologist, so I said, if you really have called me to sing, then now I think this would be the time, because it's now or never. So I sat down, I wrote Nakutegemea. I just went through the Bible and I found scriptures of, unless the Lord builds a city, those that build it, they labor in vain. And unless the Lord watches over, you know, a city, the watchmen, they stay awake in vain. So I said, even if I do it, even if I
love
have
that Bible verse, by the way.
Right? It's so beautiful. And you know, there's so many others like that. Like, it's not by
just
might.
Builds you by
no,
the
by
way.
power, but by the Spirit. There's so much that you can find in the Bible.
Fact, that was my favorite verse in high school. That's it, tunapenda Mungu.
It was. But it is a beautiful verse.
Yeah.
So I wrote Nakutegemea. And Nakutegemea, if you listen to it, basically just says, I don't want to do anything on my own. And if you really had spoken this, just do it. And then I just didn't know nobody. I just didn't have a plan. I didn't know these things we know now for marketing, promotion, go for interviews. I didn't know. I just wrote the song. I found this really nice producer, Noel Waitara, who's like the best. Big up on yourself. And then I took the 3 of the biggest video producers in the country, Steve Hunter at that time, Gijo Drumbits, and Dante Milenye. So I paid 3 people for one video. My first song.
So
yeah, I wanted to go
big.
big.
Connected to these producers yet you?
I met this guy. Yeah, I met this guy called Alex Milenye. Alex was at that time in the industry. He was the one who's bringing up Willie Paul and Sujukinan and all these names you hear.
2014.
Yeah, he's just bringing up people. So I don't know how I met him. I can't remember, but Alex Milenye was the guy who told me, you know, Nisi, you have such a beautiful voice. And if you are serious about it, you can really have a place in the gospel industry. And he held my hand, he took me to Noel. And Noel is awesome. You know, of course you pay much more for quality, but it was worth it. So we went to Naivasha. I really found a really nice place and we shot the video. And I just posted on Facebook. I didn't know anybody on TV, didn't know shows on, you know, I was just coming from a background of psychology. Like you and TV is 2 different things.
Imagine mafuta hata ujui hizi ni nini.
Utaanzia hata wapi, you know. The next morning, it was on one of the channels, which I can't mention, of course, but a gospel show, 6 a.m. The first gospel show the next day. Like God really just showed up. I went for interviews. Doors opened for me for ministry. I was traveling to Kisii, Ogembo Pentecostal, Mombasa Pentecostal. I was all over the country in terms of ministry. Maybe not out there like, oh, you know, this big hit song, but God just gave me such a root and a foundation. And people in the gospel, you know, music industry started to know me. Pastors would invite me. I'd do conferences a whole week at your church. Somebody else would call me on a Sunday at their church. And until I just got to a place I said, okay, Lord, I believe you spoke it. Thank you. I don't want to
So the 7 years prophecy is now coming.
It came to pass, and in such a big way, like boom. That's when another TV station saw my song. They called me. I went in. They said, you know, you look so nice on camera. Can you try and do a screen test for a gospel show in our station?
VUCA 360 won't mention
VUCA 360, yes. And I was excited. Oh my God, I was shaking. I was like,
they just called you. By the way, you can now be a host.
Oh my! Do you know? I didn't even apply. Didn't know there was audition. Didn't know nothing. Like I didn't even know people do screen tests. This lady is so nice. God bless her. She just said, Nisi, you look so nice on camera. Come, just do. I didn't know anybody. I promise it was just God. I was there the whole time in the screen test. I'm like, good morning and welcome to VUCA. I'm just shaking like this. You could literally see my voice. And then she called me in the office later. She said, you know, I understand that you've never done it. I will give you a chance. I'll give you the benefit of doubt, because I can see it in you. And that meant everything. That meant everything, because I just went on air. I had other people with me, so it was... And within weeks, it was so good. I worked at that show for many years, until now KBC looked for me, because now the gospel
KBC
show here...
looked for you.
They did. Big up on yourself. Job wetindi. Sikutafuta job. Somebody was leaving from the show, Angaza, that Mr. T used to do. And they said, you know, we saw this lady. So they call me, I come here, we do a screen test. And the rest is history. And boom. And then I came here as, again, a gospel show host. And I enjoyed doing that, because my heart is for ministry anyway. And anyway, this life I live is not what I had envisioned. It is God's plan, purely His.
For you, it was just counseling, and you were comfortable.
I was okay with just getting married, finishing school, having children, serving in church. I already had a life. Like, I felt like I'm okay. Like, why do I need to be on TV?
Why do you want more than this?
You know, I was just like, you know, me, I'm a simple person. That's okay with me. But God had a different plan. And right now, I'm just like, yeah, God, I love the life you had for me. I mean, thank you so much. Like, I could have been there, but you decided there's this, and you can still do this. And there's so much more that I can't say that I already know that God had spoken for the next, you know, level, which I know I'll have to wait and wait and wait again.
But it's always worth the wait.
I am okay with waiting.
I mean, if it's from God, it's always worth the wait. When you tell, you see now, when you tell your story, there's no part you're cutting. There's no part you feel like I'd want to edit because I did some dubious ways in trying to find myself on TV, or trying to find myself in those, getting connected to those producers. It was pure. And people sometimes feel like when you say God, they feel like, kwani alishuka akakuja akasema sasa kuja ufanye.
But unaniambianga hivyo all the time. Ati Nisi, tupatie connections. Ulifanyaje? Niko like, imagine, I swear. I promise. I didn't know how to do anything. Like, literally, of course, along the way, you can't work alone and in a vacuum.
Yeah, of course.
So God brings Doreen, and then He brings...
He just has a way of connecting you.
Exactly.
I mean, and that is actually what it means when you say that God did it for you. And you become so open in telling your story. You find no reason to edit or remove something because you feel like what you did wasn't quite right. Si ati Mungu yushuka na sema sasa Nisi tuende KBC kuja. No. He just
unataka kuniambia God alikwambia vaa hiyo nguo, niko like, okay, let's not be that petty. But the thing is, He just works through your emotions. You just attracted to Doreen, and then Doreen knows somebody. She's like, by the way, Nisi,
I think
my
you
friend
can do this.
Hi, Nisi has a new song. Can you? Yeah, it just happens.
Or like, you just talk with someone that they feel like, by the way, I think you can actually be good at this. I think you can actually do good at reporting. I think, and that's it.
Right.
And that's God.
And that's Jesus. That's all God.
All right. So how then do you do all this? I mean, it's demanding, because even just getting to hear your story, you largely talk about, for you, it's ministry. So clearly, just like our previous artists, it's not about to make money, so to speak, although that comes into play as part of it, but it's largely that I want to impact lives, I want to make a difference. So obviously that makes it to be one of those things that they really require a lot of your time. And so is TV when it comes to journalism. Really requires a lot of your time. You are
Which
a mom.
is another story.
In
itself, yes.
All right, you are a mom, you are a wife. All these things require your time. Where do you find the balance?
Well, I think when you enjoy something so much, it's not so much of a struggle. I mean, of course,
it's not work anymore.
It is work, but if I enjoy singing, I will make time to sing. And that's why you see some of my songs like 1 year ago, and then I'm like a 1 year break, and then I'm like, okay, I need to sing again. But in the background, I'm always singing at church. Every Sunday, every church I have, every place I have lived, because I lived here in Nairobi, I grew here in Nairobi, even though I come from Marsabit County, I'm a Borana. All my life, I have lived in Nairobi, literally from when I was 1. And then I've moved around. I've lived in Mombasa, I've lived in Naivasha, I have lived now here. So that's like, for the last 13, 14 years, I've been just moving around, just where life takes me. I get a new job, I move there. My husband is transferred, I follow him, I dump my job. It's just
really?
Yeah. I just kind of follow through with however life leads. So, what was the question again? even as I follow through with the singing, it was how the challenges and how I balance. Once I enjoy singing, so I make time. I enjoy being a mother, so I intentionally create time to be with my babies. I enjoy serving at church, so I'm always at church by 7:30 in the morning, and church begins at 10, meaning we have practice every single Sunday. Okay, and even when I'm working, I'll still rush to church, serve in the church, and during the week there's so much you can still do. So my life has always been, what can I do? I've always been that kind of person. How can I help? What can I do? And if you say do this, I'll be like, okay, you show me how to, I'll do it. And that's why I think I'm also even in the media space. When I came in as a gospel presenter, I decided, you know, if this is something I want to pursue, let me go back to school. So I went to Daystar to do communication. Hey.
Which on Valley Road, Athi River?
Yes, Valley Road, Valley Road. And even there, I've served in the Daystar Christian Fellowship. I've hosted, you know, God opens so many doors. Yes, DCF and Rev Rachel and all the DCF. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Even there, God opened doors. I started doing voiceovers. People paid me to be a commercial model, to model something. I served there and I did graduation, Daystar University graduation. I was like an MC. I was like, oh my gosh, I was just bawling the whole, I'm just like, my life could have been so boring, but Jesus, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. So everything I do, I enjoy. I love to sing. I love to serve at church. I love to be with people. That's why I did psychology. I just love people. So everything I do, it comes out from...
You make time for everything.
And to balance, yes.
You've said something very interesting, and I think I want us to stay there just a bit. Because it sort of is something that a lot of people really talk about when it comes to us as women, that wherever life led you or wherever life will lead you, you would follow.
Yes.
Even when your husband is transferred from Nairobi to Marsabit,
I will go.
So you would leave your job here and go?
I would definitely go.
Really?
Yes.
You would leave anchoring and go?
Okay, I'm just saying it in a blanket, but if we think about it, we pray about it, and we discuss. I haven't done it once. I'm just like, jobs will always come, you know, because every time I've had a baby, I've taken a break for like 2-3 years, just being there, making sure the kids go to school, then I can have a life. And I did that for 10 years of my life. Like literally, I just stay home, have a baby, make sure they're big enough for me to leave them with a help and for me to know how they're doing. Because I feel like that is my ministry, like that is what is important. At the end of the day, jobs will come and go, you know, education, work, you can always do that. But these kids grow up and they grow up so fast, and I make that my priority. So if for example, the question you're asking, if my husband is transferred again, we will sit down and think about it. Babe, do you think I should? Are we going to be able to sustain this family? Can you take care of us? And, you know, is it okay? But if it's for a short period of time, I wouldn't. There's so much there to decide. But generally, I just would up and go.
Submissive, it is what it is. That's what we talk about. Anyway, just a bit now back to the gospel space. I mean, looking again at your story, you say that you've taken breaks, and if you're to have a kid again, you will take break. Does this part of what informs the inconsistency in female gospel artists, or is just that by being a woman, there's a lot that is expected from you as a woman?
Yes and no. There is some sort of inconsistency with women. I mean,
so you sort of agree to some extent?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But I said yes and no.
Okay.
So yes, because of course women have bigger responsibilities, especially we have to fight for so much space. Fighting for space in anything, politics, music, whatever, is really hard for a woman, you know. And I've had that conversation even as a gospel show host, you know. Why there are less ladies in the gospel industry than men? Women have more responsibilities. They just think, let me go have a life, find my own life first. And then there's challenges. If you come into the industry, like for me, I was lucky by the time I came in, I had my own money. I could do audio and video without anybody asking me for favors. You know, but you'd see, it's not once or twice we've had people who say, young girls have been taken advantage of because they didn't have the money. Somebody said, come, I'll sign you as a record deal. And then what was offered on the table was also, something else was also offered. And because they are desperate, most of the young people are desperate, they don't have the money for quality audio. And for your songs to play on TV or radio, it has to be quality audio, quality visuals, you know. And you might be so gifted. So many ladies, so many women, so many girls are so gifted, but they will never have their song go anywhere because they don't have the money.
Because there's a business
money is a
aspect
challenge.
of it.
Exactly. And if you say no, like some of them would, it would take you longer. You see how long it takes to build a genuine brand. It takes forever. Like you're just always scratching the surface. You're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So people who are not cutting shortcuts, it's a huge responsibility. So there's that. There's the challenge. Inconsistency comes with financial challenges. It comes with some people in school and they're really even struggling. They're students, etc. The first one, yes. No, because women are not inconsistent. No, it's not an inconsistent kind of thing. It's most of the burden, even for family and married people, is laid on women. You know, if you don't hold your kids together and your family together, I just feel like it's such a burden for us. Whether it's culture, whether it's socialization, whether it's what we've been taught, whether it's our beliefs, it's just a burden for us. So the inconsistency comes in where I have to take the bigger burden in raising my children if I want to invest in their lives. So there's the yes and the no aspect of it.
Depending also on how you want to look at it. Given a chance, what would you change in the gospel space, seeing that you're also a gospel minister? I mean, there's a lot of conversations surrounding it not being the right direction, a lot of conversations surrounding lack of proper mentorship. Again, also the fact that good number of gospel artists that are coming up, it's all for the money. This is one of those spaces where I could make money very easily, maybe sort of compared to secular. So there's a lot of, if I could say, myths, a lot of wrong reasons to get into this space, and it's clearly out there. Have you not seen good number of them going back to secular? And they will tell you, hii kwa jani yangu, mimi nilianza tu kama msanii alafu sasa nishapata path yangu. Given a chance, what would you change in this industry?
I think that in the gospel industry, it's not that we don't have good singers. It's not that we don't have people with skill or gifting. It's not it's not that people don't want to sing good music. I think what I would change was I would make sure, I don't know how, but these bodies that regulate, you know, music gives you money, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Kiza Tunes. And sometimes this money doesn't get to the people who actually went to the studio, people who actually put in the work. It goes to promoters, it goes to cartels, it goes to... If I could, I would ensure there was a law in place that protects artists. And I know there is some sort of law, but to tell you the truth, as someone on the ground in the industry, it's not working. All the things you invest in, so much money, so much time, you just sit down and be like, is it worth it? It's not, because it doesn't come back to you and it goes into different directions. Whether it's they take such big cuts and what comes to the artist is just like a drop in the ocean. I would make sure there was laws that regulate that kind of that process, and that artists would get what is theirs. One. Two, there would also be laws that ensure that if you are a performing artist, if you are a recording artist, to be protected from copyright issues, to be protected from pirates, to also be protected from not just the cartels up there, the cartels down here. People who are gatekeepers, who play songs on radios, there would be a big regulation of how the threshold, and how do you choose a song that goes on radio and TV.
How many times are you playing it?
Exactly. What kind of music, if I was able to, I would make sure that there was a way that they could sift out, like filter out. Because sometimes people with good songs cannot get airplay on radio and on TV because of certain cartels.
Like, maybe they do not know.
Yeah, or they didn't do something. And they have good quality, so I'd ensure that it was based on good quality audios and visuals, and not on I know someone or I paid someone or whatever it is that goes on down there.
Yeah. So clearly there's a lot that we need to be looking into to sort of like change the narrative surrounding the gospel industry and the gospel space altogether. Your collabos, your second last song you've done with Danny Gift.
Yes.
How do you choose those that you decide, by the way, unafanya collabo na yeye? Is it a question of sitting back, listening to the Holy Spirit, or are we in sync, or au ni msanii mkubwa, by the way, let's just roll?
Like with Danny Gift, I haven't done too many collabos. I did one song which was it was a really cool song with Holy Dave, and he had asked me to do a couple of lines in his song. So I did that years ago, and then now I did this with Danny Gift. I haven't ever decided to do a collabo with anyone. I've always been a big fan of Danny Gift. I love all his songs, and all the time I'd have like a whole album of his songs playing from here to home. And one of my friends, we had a mutual friend, would say, "Hey, unapendanga Danny Gift?" Niko like, "Yeah, mimi napendanga tu Danny Gift. He has a beautiful voice that sounds a little Swahili, Arabic, and he's just Kenyan, and I love that because I'm half Ethiopian." It just kind of gave me that. So my friend told Danny Gift, "You know, there's this lady, she's called Nisi, she loves your songs." Like, "I know Nisi, I love her songs too." So it was like a mutual thing.
And that's now where we talked about earlier on. God just has a way of doing his thing.
Oh, God just does it for me. So now Danny Gift, we have a meeting, we sit down, and I'm a big fan of his, he's a big fan of me, and we talk and we're like, what kind of song will we do? And we just do Hakuna Kama Wewe, which was awesome, because it also pushed me as an artist. If you follow my songs, you'd see my vocal range growing.
Yeah, exactly.
Really growing. Like I started really down there, but then the more I sing, the more my voice grows. So, and his voice is just on another level. So that coming together sounded so awesome. It was so easy. We just went to studio. I wrote my parts. He wrote his parts. We came together and said, how do we want the chorus to sound? We bounced ideas off of each other. It just sounded nice, and the song was born.
There we had the song.
Yeah.
Lastly, what next for you, Nisi, as an artist, gospel minister, as you wrap the conversation?
I'm going into live recording, which is my next step, because I already think that my songs are enough to form an album. So I want to do acoustic versions. If you listen to my last song, I've done just purely my vocals and very little instrumentation, because a lot of people depend so much on the guitar and the drums. We forget to use our voice as an instrument. So I'm going into live recording, because I'm always anyway singing at church. That's live recording. There's no track. It's just you, the keyboard guy, the guitar, and whoever else is there. So I'm going into live music for people to enjoy that real full music kind of taste, feel, if you like. But I'm also going to be a little bit more consistent now with my music.
Consistency is the key.
Is the key. Now that I'm not having any more children.
Now you've put a cap and a stop to it. So
just for now. You never know. But yeah, so more music, more live music, more recordings, and probably more collabos.
Well said, well said. A good place to end this conversation this Thursday morning. And I think my take home is, by the way, God does it. You do not have to use dubious ways. Just stick on your path. Your time. When it's your time,
it is your time.
It is your time.
My new song, have you watched it?
Is it Nimekubali?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Why would I not watch it? Why would I not watch it? All right, we take a break. We return with Good Morning Kenya. Not yet done. Plenty more after this break. Stay with us.
Attention, family.
Once beaten, twice shy.
I am here to make money, so you better get your act together.
I want nothing to do with the company. Not now, never.
I need to think about it.
Don't take long.
You're forgetting Amanjuguna.
Have you been living in a hole or something? No. What choice does he have?
Experience a new history and setting of new records in Stark Arena from the 18th to 20th of March 2022 at the World Athletics Indo Championships.
Pretty tight out of the blocks, and Coleman now moving away. Christian Coleman challenged late there by Bromell.
More than 1,000 of the world's best athletes will compete for 96 medals across 24 finals during the 3 days of competition in Belgrade, Serbia. Kenya has a formidable team of 10 athletes, amongst them Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala. It is going to be a blast, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
We want a shot at your MLW Tag Team Championships. Because we are Dynasty!
Dynasty, we accept your challenge, but there's one stipulation. This match is going to be a ladder match. It's the most dangerous, the most deadly style of match in wrestling. I think that it's time that we give Brian Pillman Jr. the chance to shine. I want to give him this opportunity to be in this match.
I'll make the Hart family proud, and I'll make my father proud.
With over 2.4 million operators and a network that covers the entire nation, the boda subsector has revolutionized transport experience in Kenya. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The boda story, a 4-part special series beginning this Thursday on KBC Channel 1 News. Don't miss the boda story, a real story of our times.
Nimekubali mwito wako e Mungu, utukufu wako niuone, uwepo wako uwe vazi langu, neno lako moyoni tu. Umeniita nimekuja e Baba, sasa nena moyo wangu upone. Siwezi kimya tena mimi nitasema, wewe Kristo umegharimikia. Niongoze nitakufata, niongoze sitaondoka. Bila wewe mimi sitaweza, bila wewe sitaondoka. Nimekubali, sitaogopa, nasema ndio. Wajua na kuinuka kwangu, wajua na moyo wangu, wajua mawazo yangu, niendapo utaya miguu yangu, wanikamilisha. Nitakufata, niongoze sitaondoka.
Bwana, nimekuja mbele zako, nimeleta sifa na shukrani tele. Usifiwe Mwokozi wangu, usifiwe milele. Nimekuja mbele zako na sifa tele moyoni, Baba. Maana wewe ni sababu ya kuishi kwangu, Baba. Umekuwa Mungu wa agano kwangu, mimi sina shaka na yale umesema. Nikiwa nawe yote ni salama kwangu, Baba nashukuru, pokea sifa. Katika giza na hofu na kwenye matope niliteleza, kwa macho yako ukanitazama, kwa mkono wako ukaniokota. Wala munayo elekelinga
I know you wanna be with somebody who gon' love you and adore you. I know you wanna fall in love. They just wanna fall in love. Girl, I wanna keep you company. Nikupe penzi wisi kama kwamba you're my baby, you're in love. Girl, I wanna fall in love. Nani tamu keki, love you kweli, haujafeli. Lips are red kama mbuyu ya rangi, kama umenyonya mbuyu ya rangi. Wala igaro, you're not petty, you're so amazing. Let's celebrate kabla tuja dead, baby. Think about it. Now tell me why you think about it. Carolina, Carolina, Carolina. What am I gonna do without your love? Carolina, Carolina, Carolina. What am I gonna do without your love? I Carol, never damn she baby. I just love your style. Nafanya kazi daily, mwisho mwezi nikupe salon. Wende salon, ama tao, ujibambe nayo. And how you classy baby, I just love your vibe. Na kama penzi shule, penzi letu lini maho. When you fao, kwenye daro, mindio deski wako. Kind of woman, siwezi mwacha tankisikia rumors. Such an understanding woman. Yendo chanzo cha melodi nazotunga. Nani tamu keki, love you kweli. Haujafeli, lips are gonna make a nabuya rangi. Kama wenye nabuya rangi. Wala ikaro, you're not petty. You're so amazing. Let's celebrate kabla tuja dead, baby. Think about it. Now tell me why you think about it. Carolina, Carolina, Carolina. What am I gonna do without your love? Carolina, Carolina, Carolina. What am I gonna do without your love? I Carol, I Carol, I Carol. Carolina, girl, your love is priceless. You know me, no wako dakitari. Carolina, sema no muawe. Kisha nione what I do about it. Carolina, girl, your love is priceless. You know me, no wako dakitari. Carolina, sema no muawe. Kisha nione what I do about it.
Nimepatikana nikilament, but we shall speed past like it just did that.
Like it just did not happen.
Not do that. Yo, welcome back to the program. Glad you're still keeping us company. In case you are just joining us, karibu tena sana. We are sending you lots of hugs.
And lots of love.
Late to the party, but it's never better late than never. Sindio? Better late than never. Hashtag is still Good Morning Kenya on Twitter at KBC Channel 1 is the official station handle. Let us know where you're watching us from, how you're feeling the show. Check in. We will be checking the socials in not too long. But for now, tunataka kuingia on to the next segment, and this is all about the trending stories zenye zimekuwa zikisumbua watu kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Mike.
Well, our first story is Brown Mauzo at it again with his weird fashion choices. Now, I don't know if it's his relationship with the wife, Vera Sidika, that is causing all this. Because, you know, me knowing Brown Mauzo, as a fan of Brown Mauzo's, his choice of clothing normally, inakuwaga kitu straightforward. You know, a t-shirt, a nice blazer, pants or jeans. But now the guy decided to wear his wife's purse. To make it worse, it was a pink purse.
And what's the problem with that?
To make it even worse, it's a pink clutch purse with golden, whatever you guys call it.
Was he carrying it for his wife, or is it part of?
No, it was actually part of his outfit. It was alikuwa yeye peke yake. Sasa alikuwa anabebea, lakini pia ni debate ingine. Si ati alikuwa anabebea.
Yes, context pia ni muhimu.
Context is important. However, hata ingekuwa hivyo pia bado ni, that's a fashion crime.
No, it's not. I mean, men purses are called moose. So let's just assume he was carrying a moose.
But did you see...
lip balm, lip gloss up on ndani,
Wamboi, did you see exactly what he was carrying? Hata kama ni ile ya wanaume, hiyo nayo hapana.
But, you know, okay, the way he carried it, this is actually the point.
Proudly.
That is the word. He was carrying it proudly. Alikuwa amesling up over the shoulder. Like, actually, you know, there's something of his inside like a phone or something.
But you know, looking at even artists these days, just the other day, Bahati did a video with a blonde wig.
Red wig.
Tutasema ni ya Diana.
Should we really start the Bahati conversation, honestly?
I think it's about for the artists, they think it's part of the look, because I mean, looking at the West, this is normal. Having a purse, at a squeezy, they go around with the totes, you know, that is something so common in the West. So when it comes to the African space, we actually just have guys having issues holding their lady's handbag. All right? So msanii akifanya,
why are you carrying
it can...
No, we said context is important. Why are you
It is
carrying
important. It's very individual again. So, I mean, you clearly are one of those guys who would never be caught in public.
Depends.
On?
If she's tying her shoe, of course, you know, you should help out.
But
you carrying her purse and she has nothing in her hands.
Yeah.
There's no romance there.
Yoni?
No, your boy child card inafaa kunyang'anywa immediately. Immediately. What are your thoughts, Doreen, on this?
Listen, I don't think, that's why Mike kept saying context is important, but I don't think it's wrong to carry your woman's purse where, as in you are trying to help her, whether she's tying the shoe, ama tu maybe amechoka, unasikia kumbebea, you're walking together. I don't see anything wrong with that. But on this particular one, and I think why it's eliciting a lot of conversation is because alikuwa tu peke yake, and it looked like it was part of his wardrobe for that day, more or less like something that he does more often. And I think it just boils down to, I don't know, art. Should I say?
It's part of the drip.
No.
Drippity drip.
That is not drip. The picture on your screens is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you look at him, are those pearl necklaces, what am I saying?
And it's cute.
Honestly, what am I saying?
And speaking of pearls, even in one of Diamond's video, he was braided pearls down.
Okay, braiding pearls is a fashion choice. Wearing a sling, clutch, pink, hot bedazzled,
and this was him just going about his business.
I really don't know what that is.
This was him carrying it, just going about his normal kawaida business.
And this is one of those purses, you know, ladies wear when they're going for a party or something.
Me, I don't ascribe to that.
Or maybe Vera was the one taking the picture. Akamwambia, baby, vai kwanza tuone venye itaka.
Incredible. This is where we are as artists. This is where we are. But honestly speaking, you know, I'm not really surprised. Travis Scott the other day was wearing a dress. You know, Kim Kardashian was covered head to toe, and I do mean head to toe. You couldn't see any part of her.
But is there a question of our artists sort of copying what the West does? Because like just from what Jen said, in the West is kawaida thing, it's normal, and yet here in Africa we've not embraced that, particularly for male artists.
I feel like it is. I really do feel like it is. I agree with Jane. I feel like most of our artists, we're trying to emulate what we see. But, you know,
Atuja embrace bado. It's not a thing for us.
But the world is becoming a global village, so if you can't fight them,
embrace them.
But what I would like to see before we go to the next trending topic is maybe someone, you know, doing something that is us. Maybe, you know, one of those Maasai lassos and a spear. Then you go to a premiere.
Diamond did that at one of these award shows.
But one of ours never did.
But then again, when you look at it, when you keep saying about copying,
but it was the Maasai regalia.
I mean, copying what the West does. Isn't that what we keep saying all the time? That yes, we can copy, but don't copy everything. There's what is in our context. There's what is not.
Hakuna kubakisha.
We
go the whole 9 yards. Unabakishia for who? Drip is forever.
On to our next trending topic. She's been very, very popular these days on social media. I'm talking about Diana B. That's her new name since she decided to go and become a rapper. Apparently anyone can rap these days.
Yeah.
As long as someone writes your rhyme for you. That's not shade, by the way.
Doreen.
No, it's not shade before Doreen says anything.
Me and sijui mbona by the producers hawajamleta hapa kwa Entertainment Thursday. Na ni msanii na kona ametoa ngoma ni is it three? I think she has like 3 songs, if I'm not wrong.
There was Mtaachana too. Mubaba, nimekuja na Mbaba. Are they 2?
I think there's more, like but the main line that has stuck in many Kenyans' ears ni mapenzi tet kama
kifuniko ya gas.
I think itakuwa part of Kamilisha sentence in the exams that are
coming.
Itakuwa part of the new curriculum, the way things are going. Anyway, I digress. What is trending about Diana B right now is one of her fans by the name on Twitter, Rose Waithera 2022, decide kujitattoo on her back the face of Diana. Just imagine that. Doreen, what are your thoughts on this?
Who tattooed?
One of her fans tattooed Diana B's face on her back.
So what was the context? Why was she doing it? She loves
Just
Diana.
Out of love.
Sorry?
Out of love. The love for Diana B as an artist. Okay, the caption was, once she put the tattoo on Instagram, the caption is, "She always has my back."
But haven't we seen that with a lot of fans doing that, getting a tattoo of their favorite artist? But I'm just trying to understand, how has she always had her back? I mean, idea in what way that she's deciding to do this?
That is a very good question.
There's some information that is missing there.
Those are one of those things that we see fanatics do, like Mina Penda. For example, Mike, when you decide to, put out a track, manze, tuipende, like, oh my God, I am #1 supporter of Mike. Ninafanya nini to prove my loyalty? Naenda neko tattoo kwa mgongo, and then I say Mike has my back.
Hata Mike akujui, does not. Hata ajui ka una exist.
But I'm hoping we can get a photo of that tattoo on our screens, because this is another thing. My problem with this photograph is I feel like that is not a real tattoo. Like one of those
temporary tattoos
portraits, it doesn't look like a real tattoo. And on the right is Rose Waithera, the fan of Diana B, on the left. Doreen, does that look like a real tattoo?
Of course it does. To me, it doesn't really look like a real one. But I also tend to think and feel that a good number of fans who do this, sometimes I feel like it's just for, how would I call it? Watu anataka tu watu wamjue, wamuongelele, because oftentimes these artists do not even know you. And going by what you've said, Mike, there is that the lady Rose was saying that Diana always has had her back. In what way has she done this? I may come through for her in what way? Why are we not getting that?
And the interesting bit is Diana just said, hey, let me breathe. Moved on. Anyway, now speaking of moving on, before we get to continue with the trending topics, you want to quickly switch over to a live broadcast that is coming in of the Deputy President. So we're just going to quickly go on there to listen, but we'll be back to continue with this particular segment. Let's listen in.
Already doing it, only that they are producing 3 kilos. From the same cow, they can produce 10, 15 kilos, and we can double or even triple our milk production. So this is the sector that has the lowest hanging fruit. Why do I say that? We can increase the productivity of our crop farmers in one season. We can increase the productivity of our cows within 2-3 months. So that's the place, in our opinion, where if you invest, if you deploy, the problem with that space is capital. They don't have the money to do it. And we need to deploy capital and support that sector. What does it do? We have close to 6 million. Anyway, 60% of Kenyans do some sort of farming. Even the people in this room. Everybody here is some sort of a farmer. Yeah, I'm sure Amureu does something, and all the other people. So that's where the bigger portion of our population is, and we can, if we enhance the productivity of that sector, we will also expand the market for everybody. And that's why we believe that sector is the easiest sector to begin to stimulate our economy. We have done very well with the deployment of infrastructure. Our second term was about the Big Four, many of you know. And one of the pillars of the Big Four was agriculture. And what we wanted to achieve in agriculture is to increase the productivity of our agricultural sector. Unfortunately, we haven't quite done what we wanted to do. And I know everybody here knows why. We got a bit busy with the BBI project and took a bit of our time. And unfortunately, it ended at a place called null and void. That is the sector that can give us quick returns. Number two, we also believe that the small and micro space, as Carol has said here, is another place where we have opportunity. If we capitalize the micro, because what's the situation? 800 young people join the job market, or the labor market every year. Corporates hire 50,000. Medium corporates and enterprises hire another 150, maybe 200,000. So we have a whole 600,000 people every year joining the labor market. But because there is no, they go to this micro and small enterprise space where their income is $1, maybe $2, maybe $3 on a good day. And that whole sector, big challenge in the space of capital. I've had occasion to interact with many people in that space. I remember Ruaka, and a lady there called Shiko talked to me and said, you see, Mr. Hustler, we borrow 1 million shillings every day in this market. And we borrow from a Shylock sitting in the corner there. And at the end of every day, we pay him 1,100,000 because he charges us 10% per day. Why? Because that's the credit they can access. Of course, all of you are aware that we have 15 million Kenyans on CRB. That announcement was made by His Excellency the President in Parliament. Reason? Access to credit by the micro, small enterprise people. Because Fuliza charges them 6% per day. So if we capitalize that micro, small space, instead of them paying 1,000, 3,600% per year, if they paid 10% like the people sitting in this room, or 15% with the people sitting in this room, and we did what was said here, provided them good space for them to do their enterprise, build good markets, make sure that they have a decent space to operate from, make sure that there is law that protects their business from Kanjo and the rest of the guys. Those people can move from $2-3 to $6-7 per day. That is a space.
All right, those are live pictures coming from the Villa Rosa Kempinski Hotel here in Nairobi. The Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto, speaking at the launch of the Kenya Private Sector Economic Manifesto. That is one of the stories that we're following up and that will be featured better in our subsequent bulletin. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. Remember, you're still using the hashtag Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. The program is Good Morning Kenya. At KBC Channel 1 is the official station handle. Our individual handles are at Dorina Range, at I am Mike Gitahi, and at Jane Wamboy. So we want to get back to our trending topics segment. And just before we went for that live feed, we were onto that story concerning this fan that had Diana Marua's face tattooed on her back. Now, so many people had so much to say about this particular post, because looking at those comments over there, guys were savage. People were mean, others were like, oh, this is the ultimate show of love. Now surprise her too, because the other thing is Dada and Bahati are known for surprises. You will never guess the surprise I have for you today. But, niwaijipata. Ile kitu ninaweza chora kwa mwili yangu, maybe ni jina ya watoto wangu ama birthday zao.
Na kama bado hujachora, hakuna kitu kingine unaweza chora hapo.
Ambare aliandika jina ya Mandem down her back
but
just
she covered
the
it
other
up
day.
the other day,
Yeah, but you know, the thing is, when she got it, she actually said, tukiachana, I'll just cover it up with a dragon tat.
So then why do you do it in the first place? You see, and I think that's the problem. Because if you're going to cover, it's like now the case of, what's her name? Is it Rose? Diana? The lady.
Yes, her name is Rose Waithera.
Rose, yeah? Sasa Diana asipofanya kitu, atatoa hiyo tattoo.
Then alisema to let me breathe, and that's the only comment she has made about this particular post.
And you see, that's what I have a problem with, because for people who say, like for instance, tukiachana ama asipofanya kitu nitafanya hii, so then why are you doing it in the first place?
But I'm still stuck on the fact that I feel like it's not a tattoo. No, it's like a biro drawing. Maybe she just commissioned an artist. She was like, let's get some quick chums
we need
and
to
tag Diana on this post, you know.
Listen, whether it's a tattoo, it is a drawing, hata kama amechora na biro ama pencil, it doesn't matter for me. I just feel, and I think some people who get to do this, they just want to get recognition. They want to be talked about. Na sindo tunamuongelelea hapa saizi hata.
But on the flip side, why do people feel the need for Diana to say something about it or to do something about it?
Yet
she did not ask
her
this chick to get the tat.
Huh?
Well, it's only right, you know, it's only right.
That's another level of entitlement.
Why is it
How
right?
is it only right?
Why Mike, that's a...
Okay,
I will tell
when
you
you
that's
become
a
an artist,
statement to
okay, here's
say.
the thing
Why?
though.
Yeah.
When you become an artist, you're no longer, you know, you as an individual, your government name matter by the idea yako, unazaifungia kwa nyumba. You become this entity that provides entertainment. It doesn't matter the field. It doesn't matter whether it's comedy, whether it's, you know, any type of art. You are this entity. And you belong to us, the people who consume whatever you're giving us through that entertainment.
Belong to the people.
You belong to the people. Diana is no longer Diana Marua.
But
she's Diana B, Diana Bahati, and she knows what she signed up for.
Yes. But this is one of the artists that I think has her business figured out in mentally, her mental space,
she has
and how she handles all this attention that comes with her being in the limelight. I love how she handles it. But on the flip side, I think this is one of the reasons as to why we see great artists go down the drain because of expectations zenye society has placed upon them. Sasa kama mtu ameenda kachora uso ya Diana kwa mgongo yake, now if Diana doesn't surprise her or do something about it, we're going to criticize her about it. Like, oh my God, you're so mean. Kumbe unakuanga hivyo.
Let me tell you, I think, of course, you know, perhaps what Mike is saying is true, that there's some levels you reach whereby by the definition of who you become, you sort of become a public property, so to speak. But that does not in any way give people a sense of entitlement. Just like what Wambo is saying, you decide to put a tattoo of me. Why do I have to give you anything for that? Why do I have to comment of that? You decided as a person because you appreciate maybe what I do. in that case of Rose and Diana. So why does she have to come and comment?
Let me ask you, Doreen.
Why
if
does she
someone
have
right
to
now
come and give her
tattoos your
something?
face on their back,
Mbona nakupatia kitu?
No. Okay, think about it like this. Right now, someone is watching you on their TV screens.
Yes.
Doreen, yeah? What would you say if they post you and tag you on social media like, hey, I'm your #1 fan, this is a tattoo of you, I adore you. What would you say?
Thank
you
you.
Feel like you shouldn't say anything?
I will say thank you because they're appreciating my craft. But you see, what I'm sort of like getting against is the sense of entitlement that I now should surprise you because you surprised me. In a sense, give you something because uko na mchezo.
Watu wache jokes.
Ni jokes.
Lakini if this is a real tat.
Yeah. No. That ni viral.
Ni viral.
There's nothing you're convincing me of.
No, but in the video, sijui kama ni maji ama ni spirit walikuwa wanapanguza now the way they should clean it.
I saw the video. That piece of cloth was so dry.
Oh, okay.
So hapo by the let's just move on to the next story.
Tukisonga
twende tukiendaga because hapo by the you won't convince me. And next, Nameless. You remember there was one of his lines is in his songs, Nameless, I'm so mannerless. And it's proving so to be so on social media. We all know Maureen Waititu.
Yes.
And Nameless decided to go on her Instagram and post, zile emojis za mikono zime
ziko juu 100
photo.
Like nimeamini, it's okay,
and some
it's
fire
all right,
emojis.
it's cool.
Chini
Then
ya picha yake
akaenda hapo akasema, baba nani? You're here.
Uko huku. I loved that, by the way. Baba Tumiso.
Haya.
Uko huku.
Siku wala nikani nitakupata huku.
But
kumbe hata yeye ashafika.
I loved her reaction to this. And this goes to show maybe just how they relate in their marriage or in their relationship, given they're both superstars.
Yeah.
I mean, he's free to comment whatever he wants on the social platforms, not fearing that if my wife sees this, it's going to be trouble.
But I think it's a beautiful thing if you can be friends with your spouse, and they're being a good example. They've been together this far. No one expected them, to last this long. Speaking as a 90s kid, we saw them coming together.
Yes.
Then, there was the wedding, the babies came, the careers, the shift in, priorities. When we saw Wahoo take a backseat for a minute, also Nameless did the same thing. But now, when we see this playful nature portrayed on social media, it's good.
It's beautiful.
But isn't it how it's supposed to be? Sometimes I feel like when people get married, they sort of like lose their individualism. It does. You still are a person. You cannot lose that. And you see, that's why they are like that. That's why they're like that.
You're speaking like a true married person.
That is something interesting, and I think we should have a discussion about this.
Yeah, you cannot lose.
Once you're married, does that mean
unapata
pasia?
Exactly, Jane. That's the word. Actually, now you stop being yourself. I mean, okay, let me tell you, yes, there's some things you'll have to compromise because that's why you decided. Otherwise, you can decide, sit down, get married. But that it does not in any way mean that you should lose your individualism. There's like those things that make you you. You were you before you became with somebody else. So those are things that you cannot afford to lose. Because again, have you had those stories of people just saying that when I got married to this person, I've never been happy. And yet they sort of like look like they're getting all they need to. But why? There's some aspects of them that they just decided they were going to bury and lose that.
But this goes to just show what we have been cultured to know marriage is supposed to be. We loosely hear people say, you complete me. Instead of complimenting me, you complete me.
But there's nothing like that.
And
that's completing someone.
That's a statement that clearly tells you there's no me without this relationship.
Completing. If there's something that you cannot afford to get into your head, someone completes you. Like who? They cannot. You know why? Because you are complete in your own self.
Yes.
So someone can never complete you as a person.
Now,
Sasa.
it became something totally different from the.
But there's so much to learn from them.
Yes,
there's a lot to learn.
Yeah,
okay, that's very true. In terms of completing and not completing, I think
it goes to
we
show
need a
what
full
we
day to discuss that because there's the other side. There's the other side that feels like if you decide to start commenting on, you know, social media posts of other individuals of the opposite sex, and you're married or in a relationship, you're not really being a good partner. So I think, you know, kuna different sides of this.
Umefungua ka lingine
There's
hapo.
different sides of this. That's what I'm saying.
But she was, even in the comment she made, she left those two laughing emojis like Baba Tumi, Pio Huku. You know the way you just approach your partner and like, hey, babe, unaendanga huko, uliona?
But also, I think it also largely depends with how you and your partner relate. Kuna wale wenye, by the way, they don't do those kind of things. Ati wana comment kama nani aiwe. And there are those that they're just friends. That's why, again, I feel like it's always important to just be friends.
And
don't just
especially
be
for
partners.
them, especially given they're superstars in the industry.
Yeah, for a long while.
You're by then, Ikali. We're going to revisit, you know, as we conclude Love is in the Air. Nadia Mokami and Arrow Boy recently got engaged. Congratulations to them. Unfortunately, because of time, hatutaingilia hiyo. But next up, tuko na interview kali sana. So don't touch that dial.
Oh yeah, simply a vibe. Sauti so salamu zangu kwake Suzano Wio Maroon Commando Musa Juma mziki bila jasho Kasi Fali nasikiza Fere Kasi Kofi nasikiza Vera Song Kasi Franco nasikiza Papa Wemba Kasi Shala Mwana Chaka Chaka Kasi Fali nasikiza Fere Kasi Kofi nasikiza Vera Song Kasi Franco nasikiza Papa Wemba Kasi Shala Mwana Chaka Chaka Remi Ongala Jakadala Musa Super Mazembe Hakuna kama Alus Mabele, hakuna kama Pepe Kale, Tabuta Bule, Simaro Litumbae, Mbili Abelie, Kasi Fali nasikiza Fere, Kasi Kofi nasikiza Vera Song, Kasi Franco nasikiza Papa Wemba, Kasi Shala Mwana, Chaka Chaka, Kasi Fali nasikiza Fere, Kasi Kofi nasikiza Vera Song, Kasi Franco nasikiza Papa Wemba, Kasi Shala Mwana, Chaka Chaka.
Are you an aspiring candidate in the upcoming general elections? Do you want your agenda and manifesto to reach your voters effectively? At KBC, we have the most comprehensive and credible online platform that has profiles of all prospective candidates. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants and let Kenyans know more about you, your past achievements, your manifesto, and your development agenda once you get elected to office. What's more, the website is easy to navigate. We will create your profile, post pictures and short videos with your campaign messages at affordable hosting fees. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants today and establish your brand authority as we lead towards the forthcoming general elections.
Experience a new history and setting of new records in Stark Arena from the 18th to 20th of March 2022 at the World Athletics Indo Championships.
Pretty tight out of the blocks, and Coleman now moving away. Christian Coleman challenged late there by Brumel.
More than 1,000 of the world's best athletes will compete for 96 medals across 24 finals during the 3 days of competition in Belgrade, Serbia. Kenya has a formidable team of 10 athletes, amongst them Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala. It is going to be a blast, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Even if we offer them money, they probably wouldn't take it anyway.
Hey, what are you doing?
Go!
Honey! Hey.
She's obviously thoroughly planned all of this out. Yes. She's determined to be a part of our family. Oh God, it's this woman. She made me into a monster mother-in-law that kicked Pinky out.
Did you visit Pinky's parents? Did you give them the money?
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
Someone ran over Rogelio, and it seems like it's really serious.
We have to investigate Mr. Demian Ferrer.
I think there's something here that just doesn't ring right. Don't you agree?
But you didn't kill the man. And he's in intensive care right now. I saw you hugging Denise, Leonardo. And from what I can see, you took my advice in through one ear and let it out the other.
Take care of him, please.
Don't worry, Santi will do just fine.
Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición entre dos.
Mlikuwa mnamjua as a part of the duo Red Acapella, walifanya a lot of good collabs and a lot of nice hits. For example, kulikuwa na Tena na Tena featuring Heart the band, but now he's doing his own solo thing. I'm talking about Yaba.
Yes, sir.
Karibu sana kwa Good Morning Kenya.
Asante manze, I'd missed this place manze.
Safi kabisa.
Nashukuru.
Now we had a conversation sometime, when was it? Like 2 years ago.
Yes.
We were talking about, lockdown vile ilikuwa na, how you came into yourself as an artist.
Yeah.
Now, since then, do you feel like kuna growth ingine imeongezeka ama?
Niko hapa manze, niko msafi kwa roho sana sana.
No, msafi watu wamevaa white leo.
Yeah man, there's been a huge growth in a very short period of time. I think it's just hard work in it. And I think I'm a happy soul at the moment. Man, it's like I'm almost seeing things the way I imagine them happening.
Okay.
So sai naona vitu zikikam through mbaya.
Let's talk about that, the way you imagined it would happen. Because, okay, what did you envision for yourself?
I have always seen myself in a crowd, in a very huge crowd. I've always imagined myself performing outside this country. But first of all, the only thing that I've always imagined ni ningependa wasee wa mtaa wana sing along. You know, I released an EP in late 2020, early 2021. And sai nikiimba, when I go to stage, I have always, apparently this is a very kind of funny thing. Sijawahi kuimagine wase wanaweza sing along ngoma zangu kwa stage. But nowadays, my EP, Rumba Ken, when I go on stage, bro, I am not in control of the playlist. What they shout is what we play as a band. So, your part sijawahi kuimagine, but nishawahi kuimagine crowd big mbele yangu. Nikifanya tu mziki, and I love making people happy.
Now, let's talk about Rumba Ken. There are people who are back at home who don't really know Rumba Ken just yet. But what I like to call it is a cocktail.
Yes.
Because you're infusing this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about that new genre that you coined, Rumba Ken.
Yeah, it's a fusion of trap, banger, and rumba, and a touch of just a new school kind of melodies, sheng, kizungu, kiswahili inside there, and it's just a vibe that connects two generations, the generation ya kina Daudi Kabaka na generation ya just before Gengeton or just after Gengeton, you know, or let me say Afrofusion. So inawaleta pamoja, you know, so unapata nikicheza ngoma msee anasikia vibe ya maybe sina makosa, or and then kidogo anasikia vibe ya something that is being played right now, maybe a Sauti Sol kind of feel, you know, or maybe had the band, but mostly yaba, you know.
So when someone listens to your music, they're getting the singer-songwriter vibes.
Yeah. It's more of a set of music that you can listen even after 10 years, 20 years. It's more of listening kind of setup. Yani, a friend of mine, Bien, anasemanga setup ya album. Ni mziki na kupatia peace. Unakaa chini ama ukidrive ukiwa mtaa una feel fiti.
Nice. I like that example. Now you just talked about Bien. He's one of your friends.
Yeah.
Any collaborations in the works? Because your track list, when I look at your track list, there's a lot of amazing artists.
Yeah.
For example, there's Mombasa Mandela.
Yes, Mandela wachana. Mandela used to be part of a very big band called Sarabi. And I literally had to make Mandela come from Tanzania. Because Squeezer yuko Kenya sana. He's doing his music on the other side. So I called him, and then he was like, hey, yo, mi niko na kitu. Mandela is a free spirit, he loves music, he loves what he does. You remember he used to, alikuwa anaimba hizo songs za kitambo zenye zilikuwa anasumbuana na gava huko nje, but vile nilimuita, I was just like, why not? Apparently I put Mandela and a chick called Shari. They only knew they were in the song at the final mix. No one knew they were in the same song. And it's one of the most loved songs kwa hiyo EP.
Now, how about Bien? Why didn't you add him as part of the track list?
First of all, I respect Bien so much. Ni beshte yangu. He has rooted for me out there. He has like publicly mentioned me 2 times in public. And I'm glad alisema I'm one of the Kenyan artists that he wants to work with on a set of an album is Yaba. So by the time EP ilikuwa ready before hiyo conversation ianze, so kama ingekuwa ready, I think we would have done something and put it in the EP. So siezi amka tu na BN usiku tuseme juu sasa EP natoka next week. We can just say let's hit the studio, and do a song just for the pressure of it. But inakam. Yani niko excited sana. You know, if you do a song with BN, it's like you've done a song with the entire Kenyan industry. I mean, who else?
And okay, you're holding a guitar, and I'm sure the people back at home are like, okay, why is he holding a guitar? Why is he talking? He should be playing some music. But before you do, there's something we were discussing in terms of collaborations. Still on the same note of Bien and, you know, on the wonderful, amazing artists you have on your EP, upcoming EP. You feel like, okay, this is your stance according to you. You feel like Kenyan artists need to be collaborating more.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad we always have to use the example of Nigeria, but do we have an option? Because let me go to Tanzania, look at Wasafi. The only reason why they're big is because they are a unit. And you know, when units break, you see what happens. Example, ya bands, ziki break, either itaisha ama ita prosper. So there is this thing, I don't know what it is personally, but kufanya tu ngoma na wasanii wa Kenya, it's just hard. Nika tu kuforce issues, you know. And I don't get it, but if you really love this thing and you love it for real, I don't see why it should be a problem doing a song together. The reason why I called my EP Bestie, it's because it's based on friendship. It's a collaboration between my friends, and it's dedicated to my fans who are my friends. So hiyo EP nilieka kwa wale wase waliagree kufanya songs na mimi because they wanted it. And wale wase tulisumbuana nao kwa hiyo EP, they are not in the EP. And again, it's a dope project. So we just need to unite. There's a reason why there is Soul Generation. There's a reason why there is Kaka Empire. There's a reason why there is Decimal. You know, because wase wakishikana hivi ni ile tu saying ya kitambo.
Good things happen.
Yeah, good things happen. So let's collabo more and tuache hizo stories anika unasaidia mse, because you never know who I'll be tomorrow. I don't know who you will be tomorrow. Yeah.
Nice. Like I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, this is
Mr. Yaba. Party people, my name is simply Yaba and I am the Prince of Rumbaken. This song is called Mashujaa.
Fadhili wilaya, oh no no. Leswanyika, wasalimie sauti so, salamu zangu kwake Suzano huyo, Maroon Commando, Musa Juma, mziki bila jasho. Hola, kasi Falina skiza Fere, kasi Kofina skiza Werason, kasi Francona skiza Papa Wembae, kasi Shalamwana chaka chaka kasi Falina skiza Fere, kasi Kofina skiza Werason, kasi Francona skiza Papa Wembae, kasi Shalamwana chaka chaka yo yo yo. Remi Ongala oh yo yo yo. Jakadala Musa Super Mazembe oh yo yo. John Sense hakuna kama Alus Mabele, hakuna kama Pepe Kale, Tabu Tabule, Simaro Lutumba oh yo yo. Billy Abelie oh yo. Kasi Falina skiza Fere, kasi Kofina skiza Werason, kasi Francona skiza Papa Wembae, kasi Shalamwana chaka chaka kasi Falina skiza Fere, kasi Kofi na skiza Erason, kasi Franco na skiza Papa Wema, kasi Shalamana chaka chaka
Yes, sir.
That was Yaba.
Yes, man.
Buddha boss, let me tell you, you're very talented.
Asante, man.
Now, as an instrumentalist, can you take me back to when you first picked up your guitar?
Wow. Okay. Let me see. 2014, 2016.
Lies. Really?
Yeah.
Are you telling me now I can start and I'll get as good as you?
Of course. I mean, the secret between to play a guitar or to learn is just not to give up. Because utashika hivi siku moja umwe na vidole and then you'll be like, there are people who learn guitars in like 2 years, man, or in 6 months mse anacheza. It's just a matter of, I'm not a good guitarist. I'm just a basic guitarist.
Well, to someone like me who's always wanted to play a guitar, you look like you know exactly what you're doing.
Pick one, man. Pick one.
I will, definitely. Now let's talk about your career, your trajectory, and where you see yourself in 10 years.
First of all, the reason why I say I'm the Prince of Rumba Kenya, it's because I'm in charge of this thing that I'm doing. And it's my kingdom. And I'm just a prince. People wanasema, oh, why don't you now call yourself the king of Rumba Kenya? No, I'm just a prince, you know. But the prince will eventually be a king. So I'm working on being the king of Rumba Kenya. But first of all, manze, my fan base is really growing every day. We have a concert that we have started. It's called Hekaya za Rumba Kenya, or Tales of Rumba Kenya. When we did a trial, when I moved from the band, we had like 200 people. Now, when I was launching Bestie, my EP, which is available on yaba.hustlesasa.shop, we had 441 people in a span of a year. From 2021 August, actually hata si mwaka, 2021 mpaka this year March. So I will be the biggest thing or human being in what I do in this country, and I will most definitely go outside this country next year.
And we believe in you.
Yes.
But now you said you won't refer to yourself as the king.
Yeah.
Is there a king who needs to be dethroned? Is there someone when you angalia, you're like, I can do that?
Well, for me, I don't think I'm in it could dethrone, say, but I just want to show the people behind me or the people who believe in their dreams that it's possible. You know, it's possible, but if only you don't stop. I respect my fans so much, yani, watoto na Rumba Kenya, machampe na Rumba Kenya, you know. Hao ndio wamefanya niko hapa, ndo wanabuy EP yangu saizi, hao ndio wananitag and mention that the most important people outside there, not even me. The kingdom is full. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much for coming through to Good Morning Kenya. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, man.
It's nice. It's fun to see when, you know, one of the artists, I feel like I'm growing with you.
Una feel aje
I feel like I'm growing with you, if I'm being honest.
Na feel poa, bro. Like the last time I was with you, it's not where we are right now. Yeah.
I love the growth. Thank you so much,
Sante, bro,
for coming through to Good Morning Kenya. That was Yaba. Like he said, unaweza pata the EP at yaba.hustle.
Yaba.hustlesasa.shop, and my handles are it's Yaba everywhere. ITSYABA everywhere. Yeah.
Nice. We'll be back after this.
Thank you.
Kweli Jaber ni mali loko, alafu Jaber anaga mambo. Oi jaber, utanimaliza nyako. Ai jaber, nataka fanya mambo. Kweli jaber, ni mali loko. Alafu jaber, mambo. Ai jaber, utanimaliza nyako. Ai jaber, nataka fanya mambo. Olada, nishai kusho, uwaga umeweza. Ukikuja zangu show na luku za kutesa, wanauliza nani huyo mrembo ameweza. Uye jaber, and I be like, ajipodoi sana hata maji akatangi sana and I be like, yeah, mrembo sana jaber. Ola ola, ola sexy mama, ebu cheki vile umesimama, unatutesa kwanza ukinama. Ai jaber, olada, kweli jaber, ni mali loko. Alafu jaber, anaga mambo. Oi jaber, utanimaliza nyako. Ai jaber, nataka fanya mambo. La la la. 1 for the blunt, 2 for the girl, and 3 for the things that she does after the blunt. She's a naughty queen, she wants a naughty king. Not an ordinary man who cannot do the thing. Hola sexy mama, ebu cheki vile umesimama, unatutesa kwanza ukinama. Jaber, asema she can get it. She tells me, baby boy, come on, get it. I tell her, baby girl, you gon' get it. Beat it, beat it. Ooh, and then I hear, I tell her, baby girl, you gon' get it. She tells me, baby boy, shut up and get it. Good morning, party people. My name is Simply Av on KBC Entertainment Thursday. Oh, Lord, see you next time when you see me.
Experience a new history and setting of new records in Stark Arena from the 18th to 20th of March 2022 at the World Athletics Indo Championships.
Pretty tight out of the blocks, and Coleman now moving away. Christian Coleman challenged late there by Brumel.
More than 1,000 of the world's best athletes will compete for 96 medals across 24 finals during the 3 days of competition in Belgrade, Serbia. Kenya has a formidable team of 10 athletes, amongst them Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala. It is going to be a blast, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
With over 2.4 million operators and a network that covers the entire nation, the boda subsector has revolutionized transport experience in Kenya. The good, the bad, and the ugly.